Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really, really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. My dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool, and ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. Hello there, people. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? That was horrible. People were after me, I think. Cooper Marion, you're right. I love the rant. I'd like to hear how badly you wanted to see Riddell win tonight too. It was more or less that. You know what I mean? Like, I just said, first and foremost, thank you so much, guys, for joining me and for being on here. I love doing this show. I love doing the stuff with you guys. I love watching the fights with you guys. It's the best. And I really appreciate you guys being on here. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications. I'm absolutely cut and gutted that the Volkanovski and the Gregor Gillespie fight. So Gregor Gillespie versus Brad Riddell today's been called off, and also the Volkanovski fight next week. I'm really, really cut about both things. From what I know, Volkanovski and his team are okay. So that's good. Obviously, health first, but I really wanted to see those fights. And I really wanted to watch the Gregor Gillespie versus Brad Riddell fight because, man, I love those grappler versus striker matchups. And I particularly like watching Brad Riddell fight. I think his level of striking is very, very technical. It's very, very good. You know, so yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, man, yeah. Um, Sorry about that. I don't know what happened with the microphone. So yeah, Jay Farrell, thank you for joining us. Um, Joseph says, "Hey, coach, get your popcorn ready. Rob versus Kelvin is finally happening." Yeah, look, that's going to be a cracker fight. I think that's a harder matchup for Rob than Polo. To be honest with you, not easier, just not easier or harder. I shouldn't say that. It's I think that Gastelum brings a few different things to the table than Polo does. I think Polo has one way to win, and that's he's going to come forward on Rob, and I don't think he's quick enough to deal with Rob's jab and that. I think that Gastelum has fast hands. I think that Rob will eventually beat him. I think he's going to kick the shit out of the front leg, stomp on the front leg, and also I feel that Gastelum has come off. He hasn't got the momentum, and momentum's a big thing in the fight game. Of course, I'm saying all of this. I could be wrong, but I think the momentum is a big thing in the fight game. Rob's only had one loss in I don't know 6-7 years or something like that, and that counts a lot. That does count a lot. Um, he's got two good wins recently, and they've gone the distance, so he's very comfortable in there. And I don't feel that Gastelum has got that type of momentum behind him. And that can make you a little bit gun shy because you're only a few away from being cut. So I think that in that regard, I think Rob would have to be the favorite, strong favorite in whoever he was going to fight out of the two of them. But I think that Gastelum brings a few little things to the table, that is a little bit harder to get. But I do think that Rob's going to kick the shit out of the front leg. Um, okay. Thank you, people. I'm just trying to catch up. Okay. I heard Riddell had a COVID breach in his camp, but I don't really know how much besides I wanted to see Brad go hard. I would like to have seen Brad and Gregor Gillespie fight. I think that would be a super difficult fight for both those guys. Either one of them can really impose their game, So that's what I find very, very interesting. Um, Joseph says, Coach, how big is the height and reach difference between Rob and Kelvin? Is it a major gap or close enough? The thing is with Kelvin, he's used to fighting. The reach advantage goes to Rob, but the like he's a bigger guy, significantly taller. But the thing with someone like Gastelum is that he's used to fighting like at a reach deficit. So I don't think the reach is going to be a huge issue between the two of them. Um, I think Gastelum, even when they measure his reach, it's actually deceiving. It's deceptive because he's got very broad, thick shoulders. I think his reach is a lot less than what they say in the thing. Like if he was to stand out with his arms straight out in front of him, his reach is little, tiny. But he's used to fighting like that. He always fights with a reach deficit. I think, say for example, the reach would have affected Israel more against Yan because Israel's always used to having that reach advantage. But I don't think with Gastelum the reach is going to be a huge issue. Gastelum's very big and thick throughout his thing. Access Power Diesel says Gastelum brings way too much to the table every night. He brings a lot to the table. And I know what you're saying. Oh, okay. I kicked a banana tree yesterday with zero training or experience, and now I'm pretty sure I'm feeling what McGregor felt versus Dustin. Yeah, that'll hurt like a motherfucker badly. Cooper Marion, I feel like either Brad gets stuck wrestling against a cage for extended periods or is able to stifle the wrestling enough to land something with his Mondo fists. Um, well, we won't know right now, but I do feel that Gillespie has some really, really, really intense grappling. Really good in that collegiate style. I don't think it'll be just a hold him against the cage kind of thing if it was to go. Um, but I'll go Brad in that fight. So Sank says, greetings from Toronto. Fab, greetings, sir. Atari shirt is where it's at, coach. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Cooper Marion. Kelvin has the Dustin Poirier style body, few extra pounds, but thick and wide shoulders, which leads to weird reach and power. He also moves. He's like I'm telling you, he's deceptively big. Like the first time I met him, he threw me off how big he was. Like his head's massive, his body's huge. Like he's got a massive, like a heavyweight's body on like a heavyweight that somebody chopped off at the elbows and knees. He's a big guy and he's very quick. Like he's able to move in and out. He's very, very agile as well. So that allows him to kind of exploit that reach disadvantage, if you will, where people see him. He's able to creep up on you, create a false distance, and throw that left hand down the pipe. And I don't know where I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that to Rob. I don't think so. Rob's very quick in his own right as well. So Sank says, Coach, do you need us to hook us up where you get your shirts from? My wife has gotten the shirts from me over the years, to be fair. So I don't really can't take too much credit for that. Fab, you think you could take Okamoto? Probably not. I'm not much of a fighter. So Sank says, Joseph, hell yeah. Yeah, my wife gets them for me. Fab, who do you have for Helwani versus Okamoto? Okamoto. I would say Okamoto. Are they going to fight for real? Who do you guys have in the main event? Who do you guys have out of Brunson and Holland? That's going to be an interesting fight, man. That's a very interesting fight and an opportunity for, in particular, Holland to make a big splashy. That's a very interesting fight to me. How like that fight against Jacare, that was insane. That was crazy. I don't know. I think that Brunson can win and probably will win if he can slow it down. If Brunson can slow down the fight and like start to dictate, hold him up against the cage, slow the whole thing down, I think that Brunson can get a TKO in the later rounds, or he can win a decision. But I think with someone like Holland, they're both erratic. Like they both have the potential to be really, really erratic and really like, jumping jacks. You don't know what they're going to do, either one of them. But I feel that if you were to fall into that game, I think that Brunson hasn't got the reach that Holland has, and Holland you don't know what he'll do, So you've got to give that kind of little bit of advantage to Holland if it gets really erratic. And he's kind of going up with the momentum as well. Okay, Cooper Marion says, I got the vague feeling Brad would be good enough to slow down Gregor's wrestling. He just seems to have trouble disengaging once he's standing on the fence, and we may just end up stalled by both. Probably. Because I think Riddell's going to be very hard to hold down. The thing with Gillespie that I like is the wrestling style, the collegiate wrestling style with the mat returns and whatnot, and how good he is at it. It can be a real problem. But Riddell's very good as well. Coach, may I ask you when the last time you got hammered like a true Aussie from Super Skunk? I actually don't drink alcohol. This fight, Tuivasa versus Hunsucker, I'm going for Ty, big time. So I hope Ty wins. The other fellow's a big fellow, but I think Ty's going to bash him. Axis Power Diesel says, Holland is going to boom Cisco. Cooper Marion, I think for every reason that Brunson has the skills and ability to win, so Holland is going to land another meme KO with the least method. Could be. Billy Boy, how big of a factor do you see the difference in frames between Brunson and Holland being? I don't know, because I've met Brunson. I've been up close to Brunson. Obviously, I was in the corner when Rob fought him. And Brunson's a big guy, like he's big, thick-shouldered guy, very, very, very athletic guy. And Holland is very long and tall and whatnot. It just depends where the fight goes. It depends how the fight goes. If Brunson can slow Holland down, that's where I see the when he might start to be able to negate that frame. If not, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for Brunson. Bam out of nowhere. When you win something, say for example in a lottery, you say Atari or Atata in Japanese. Ah, there you go. I did not know this. I did not know this. So the boys are walking out now to the octagon. Hunsucker is walking out, and uh, man, he is a big fellow. This guy, one of those guys that if you win the lotto, you want him following you around. Bam Bam is super athletic for a heavyweight. He's really, really athletic. He played a very high level rugby league here in Australia and achieved a decent level of success in rugby league. He's a really fast feet and really like smooth feet and hands for such a big guy. Joseph, coach, I hope you can indulge us by answering this question. If you're going to coach Rob against his fight with Kelvin, what would the game plan be? I know you can't say that much, but hope you can give us a peek. Well, I don't work with him, and I can't say too much because I was there when we prepared for Gastelum in like the first time when they were meant to fight. But I imagine that amongst other things, I imagine that Rob is going to kick the shit out of that front leg. I don't think that's a secret. If you saw that Ian, he kicked the shit out of Gastelum's leg, So I think that that's the writings on the wall for that. I think that that's very clear that that's what you would do with Gastelum, and that will also negate some of that movement and some of that movement coming forward. And I think Rob will stomp on that front leg as well to stop that movement coming forward from Gastelum, stop Gastelum being able to cut that angle. I do believe that that will happen. Bam Bam's coming out draped in the Aboriginal flag. And then I'd imagine that Rob will start to hit him with lead rights, and they'll both threaten each other with takedowns at some point. They both got good chins. They both get hit a bit though. That's how I see it. I can't tell you what I think too much because, like I said, I was involved in one camp already, and that I already got insight, and so I don't want to talk too much. But that what I said is more or less what anyone could more or less see. In the sector, Holland has never fought a 5-round fight before in history. I think Brunson is just going to drain his stamina and get a late round TKO on Holland. I agree with you. If and this is a big if, he can slow him down. If he can slow the fight down and fight at a more controlled pace, then that can happen. If it gets really wild in there, you don't know what could happen. Anything can happen in there. I can't tell who's in. I think that's Stevie in the corner. If it's Stevie Ashby, shout out to Stevie Ashby. He's a champion. I can't tell who the other guy is though because of the masks. But if it's Ashby, I like Ashby. He's a fucking champion. Holland has never fought. Where is the spider on my wall? Joe Exotic. There are spiders in here all the time. That's why I ask. It's not like a massive thing to me. James Adjustment. Brunson looks really focused, but I'm on the Holland hype train, and I think he's riding on this confidence. I don't see it going the distance. True. Could happen. Joseph, sorry if all my questions are about Rob versus Kelvin. I'm too hyped since I found out they are fighting. Laugh out loud. PS, pretty pumped seeing Thai fight. Yeah, I'm pumped to see Thai fight as well. Jack the Ripper. Salam alaikum, Uncle Fab. Shalom, Uncle Fab. Te quiero, Uncle Fab. I appreciate all of them. They all mean very different things, but they all mean nice things. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Right back at you, Jack the Ripper. Chili Miners. Always admire guys who have to cut to heavyweight. Man, I was at World Championships. I can't remember what year it was. I was there and I was watching the guys cut to like, I think at the time was 125 or 130 kilos, something like that. And I was watching the heavyweights cut weight, and I was thinking, how big must you be like to like if you weren't training and you could just eat whatever you wanted and just do a little bit of training and not die of a heart attack? How you must be huge. I don't even know they made people that big. I remember some like Scandinavian dude or something was like cutting down to 130, and it looked like he was gonna die, dude. Minus 440 favorite is Bam Bam. It's a huge favorite. Huge favorite. He is a giant of a man. Fab, what's the strangest tat you've seen on a fighter? I don't know, dude. I don't know. There's a few strange ones out there. I think everyone knows some of them. I think the Brock Lesnar one's an interesting one. Um, they've achieved a level of mass the rest of us can only aspire to. That's true, mate. Hunsucker looks like a strong dude. He does look like a big, strong dude, man. I'll give him that. He absolutely does. Bam Bam can fight, though. And we're off, people. Bam Bam, both of them in orthodox stance, but I do believe that Bam Bam will switch at some point to southpaw stance. Big leg kick landed by Bam Bam. Both men still in the orthodox stance. Bam Bam looks very, very relaxed. Hunsucker looks inside leg kick landed by Hunsucker on Bam Bam. Another powerful leg kick landed. Oh, big heavyweights exchange. Both of them land some big power punches. Another kick landed. He's hurt him. He's hurt Hunsucker pretty badly on the leg. Those leg kicks are landing pretty hard from Bam Bam. They would not be fun. Inside leg kick landed by Bam Bam. Big right hand landed by Bam Bam. And Hunsucker is out of there. Big ground and pound landed by... Oh, no, he's not out of there. Big ground and pound landed by Bam Bam. Oh, shit. Big shots. And that's the wrap. That's the wrap. Huge shots landed by Bam Bam. Huge shots. Huge shots. Those leg kicks from the orthodox stance from Bam Bam, they were super powerful, super painful. You know, very, very strong guy. Oh, my God. Those leg kicks. He really came out, stood in that orthodox stance, landed some massive leg kicks. Then he landed an inside leg kick. They both traded big punches, but Bam Bam landed that one just on the jaw kind of thing and really rocked him. That inside leg kick was nice. And then he landed a 1-2, really rocked him. You can't, like, at that weight, at that size, it's like brutal, you know, really, really brutal. Wow. Big shots landed there. Wow. So I might have to skip a few people here. Hey Fab, how's the things? What do you think happens for Brunson if he wins? I don't know. It's an interesting position that Brunson's in, because I mean, he's lost to, like, well, Romero's out of there, but he's lost to a lot of guys that have challenged for the belt. I think it and also held the belt. And Holland is on his way up, but he's definitely not there yet. So I think a fight like, say, someone like Hermanson wins his next one, something like that would be a good fight for him, because he's kind of always been stuck in that top 5 to 8 kind of ranking, you know. So something like Hermanson or Kenan, something like that would be interesting, provided he wins his next one, you know, something like that. I'm just throwing that out there. Cooper Marion, leg kicks, right hands, and now some of the wrestling in open stand is going to cause problems for Kelvin's boxing. I think that the wrestling from both of those guys will be interesting, because they both can wrestle. I don't know exactly what's going to happen there. I don't know. I think Rob will be I think Rob is going to butcher that lead leg pretty bad, you know, and then that's going to allow him to exploit the hands a little bit more. You know, I think that's what will probably happen in that fight. Christian Laurent says, when the UFC returns to Australia, should the UFC hire Aussie Man and Chris Hemsworth as color commentary? Yes. You asked me that before. I said yes. I always think of what would happen if they let Ubrim come in with no weight cutting. Gonna knee someone through the wall. Possibly. Jack the Ripper, I didn't realize I was heavyweight until lockdown started. I'm 115 kilos, Uncle Fab. Can I beat Ngannou now, you think? Easy. Just use your leg kicks. And the other guy, Sully. I like Sully as well. Sully and Ashby. Shout out to them. They're good guys. Really, really good guys, those two blokes. Um, okay. Jack the Ripper, you can definitely Homer Simpson Francis at this point in your career. Um, okay, I'm just going to skip a few things. Sorry, guys. I just want to get to where we kind of are. Um, hey, Oliver Ekman. I just want to shout out Oliver Ekman, champion that he is, Iowa wrestler going into his senior year in high school. And now it is his birthday, people. Happy birthday to Oliver Ekman, champion that he is. He messaged me on Instagram. And I just want to say thank you so much for always supporting the show. Oliver, you're a champion, a gentleman, and a scholar. Thank you, Bam out of nowhere. I really appreciate the fact that you like um the fact that you like the commentary. Um yeah, man. Should there be a super heavyweight division? I mean, there's some really big human beings out there, man. There's some really, really big guys. I don't know how thin it would get because I think heavyweight it goes through years at heavyweight where it's quite thin, and you don't really have that depth. So I don't know if you're going to have the depth to really be competitive year in year out at a super heavyweight division. Because whilst there are people that are giants, there's not that many. And then you have to, because there's not that many, the skill level reduces immensely. Uncle Fab, can you feed my ignorant mind some knowledge? What's that flag Bam Bam is carrying? That's the Aboriginal flag. The Australian Aboriginal flag is what Bam Bam's carrying. Um, DC would be champ of super heavyweight. I don't know, man. Some guys are huge, man. Um, Chili Minor says, in my opinion, heavyweight should be an open weight like boxing. Yeah, maybe you know what maybe you could have is like, you have light heavyweight at 93, and then maybe an under 100 kilograms or an under 103 kilograms or something like that, and then open weight after that. Because there's a big gap. Like if you can't get under 98 kilos, like fighting a 120 kilogram guy is massive, you know. Like if 98 is the lowest you can go, like you're lean, you're dead, blah blah blah. You can't get any lower than 98 or 100 kilograms. You're stuck at heavyweight, and you could be fighting someone that's coming down from 125 to 120. But there's funny things happen at heavyweight too. Like there's a point of diminishing returns. Like there's a point where you don't move fast enough, and 110 kilogram guy will hit just about as hard as they need to hit to knock anyone out because your head doesn't get gigantically more bigger. You know what I mean? Like the bigger you are, for how hard you're going to hit, for how hard your whole body's going to hit. So yeah, interesting. Joel Forbes, best surfing coach on the coast, man. I'm telling you, one of the best surfing guys around, surfing legend here on the Illawarra South Coast. My surfing coach and life coach. Jack the Ripper says exactly. Great minds think alike. Thank you, sir. Chili Miners, 225 cruiserweight. I think Stipe said he was in support of that. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. And then after that, have open weight as much as you want to have, you know. But I think some sort of cruiserweight division at 225 pounds, I think would be nice, something like that. Adrian Yanez, 5 first round finishes, a 12-3 record. He's getting ready to step up now. This fellow's a really good wrestler, man. Gustavo Lopez, very, very good wrestler. He's won 4 of his last 5 fights. Interesting story. He actually got a scholarship to go to Stanford to wrestle, and his mum had recently been widowed, and he opted against it. And then he moved to. He just stayed home. I believe went to a junior college or a community college. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's a difference. I'm not in the US, but he did really well over there. Then he moved in with Caraway and Tate at one stage, and he started transition to MMA fully at that point. But yeah, he has a very good wrestling pedigree, very very good wrestling pedigree. Okay, Cooper Marion. I think a 225 would be perfect. Then open above that, but I think it would be just two divisions for Stipe and current heavyweight champion to run. Possibly, man. Possibly. Possibly. Jack the Ripper, you need to get Joel on so he can tell us about your surfing skills. My surfing skills are non-existent, man. Uh, the last head kick from Yanez was crazy. His striking is really interesting. Yeah, man. I'm pretty pumped for these guys. I'm actually really excited to see Max Griffin fight. He was on the podcast, and he's a nice guy. He's a really like he reminds me of like a kid, like just in just his demeanor and just, but not in a immature way, just in a like a really, he's just like a nice guy, you know. I was actually really impressed with him. James Adjustman Raviston says, yeah, junior hashtag community college are the same thing. Well, this guy had a scholarship opportunity at Stanford, turned it down to stay with his widowed mum, which I admire a lot, and wrestled at community college and that. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing. I love watching guys that can implement good, strong wrestling. Like I know people don't like it, but a lot of people don't like it. I was going to say not people in general, but I really like seeing the wrestling in MMA. I love it. I love watching. Man, it takes a lot. Like people criticize, it takes a lot for you to over 5 rounds or 3 rounds or whatever to just completely out wrestle someone, you know, and take the fight out of them. That's me. I like it. Cooper Marion, how do you distinguish who's qualified versus unqualified wrestler from America? There's plenty of high level wrestlers in college who don't wrestle the best in MMA. I don't, if I'm talking about if he's got like high wrestling credentials, you know, and he did in high school and whatnot, that's more what I was talking about. There's heaps of guys that don't transfer well wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or even striking. But when you see the effectiveness of their wrestling, it's, you know, it's pretty good. But I like watching wrestlers that can implement their wrestling in MMA. How do I distinguish it? Is just by their effectiveness, their ability to be able to out wrestle someone in the cage. And I think like guys like Khabib or uh, Islam, all those guys do fantastic jobs of it. So yeah, no, there's heaps of guys, and there's guys that didn't do that much in the world of wrestling, and have fantastic wrestling in the cage. Same as guys that did really, really well in the world of striking, and then just can't get it together in the cage. Um, the timing's a little different, and some people just don't have that timing. So yeah, here we are. We're about to start Yanez versus Lopez, bantamweights. It's interesting. The other thing that happens is people just come out of nowhere. Kevin Matthew, what do you think of shoot fighters from the 1990s? Do you believe they were right in combining strikes with takedowns? 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000%. I like all that stuff. Christian Laurent, do you see Ty being ready for the top 10 or still needs maybe a fight or two more? I mean, you can give him someone in the top 10. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, you know, he's got to go at some point. If he can, I'm sure Ty would take a fight in the top 10 for sure. So, yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen him, like the guys, in fairness and no disrespect, but the guys that I've seen him against recently are not like that kind of top 10 guys, you know. So there are guys that will be interesting to see him fight in the top 10, right in the top 5. Like a fight like with him and Derek Lewis, that would be an interesting fight because they're just going to bang, you know. Um, and that's an interesting fight. You know, it doesn't mean that he is or he isn't. Gustavo Lopez is walking out to the cage now, and it was a little bit of an eerie walk, a little bit of a strange walk from Lopez. Now he's loosened up and he's smiling, ready to go. Giving his trainer his jewelry. I'm really interested to see these guys fight. The Yanez guy, man, he's got really interesting striking. He does. Somebody else mentioned that here earlier, and his striking is interesting. That's exactly the word for it. So let's see how it goes. Lopez getting Vaseline on his eyebrows. Gustavo Lopez, 8 first-round finishes, finished 11 of his 12 wins, 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. Last fight defeated a Burchak by first-round submission. So, interesting. Cooper Marion, I'm a fan of wrestling. I just wish my body was suited for it. Dagestan wrestling seems massively more effective than a lot of American high school, college wrestling for MMA, as US has less control. I don't necessarily agree with that, because also you have to understand, like, Dagestan is a hotbed of wrestling in in um in a country that is a hotbed for wrestling. Period. Like, Russia has really really good wrestling. Dagestan is like one of Dagestan, Chechnya are hotbeds of wrestling in that country. Um, there is a. I also think that a lot of the guys that wrestle in Dagestan and Chechnya and that you see coming through are wrestling, not just wrestling per se, but there's also the influence of combat sambo and that. So they're already wrestling for with the thought of combat in mind. And I think that in the US, there's a lot of guys that wrestle really, really well at the collegiate kind of style. And the collegiate style, I think, has a lot of control. And their control is their ability to bring people back to the mat. There's riding times, which in Russia, you don't have that. You don't have in Olympic freestyle wrestling, there's no riding times. So if you look at other countries that are strong wrestling countries, say Germany or countries like that, the Turkey guys that are wrestling there, they're wrestling freestyle or Greco, but the mindset is not, oh, we're going to go to MMA. They're wrestling for wrestling. Um, Whereas the US has that as well. There's a lot of guys that are in college now that are going, I'm going to go on to MMA, and that's a little bit different. I think collegiate style wrestling is really, really good. I just think that Dagestan is a hotbed of combat sports, period. So it's a little bit different with a lot of the guys that are going through the wrestling system. Guys like Khabib weren't necessarily massively successful as Olympic freestylers, but they had I'm going into combat. That was always the thing for them. Cooper Marion, but that depends on the wrestler's personal style and use. I think control are focused on more on those crazy caucus people. Like I said, I kind of said what I thought on that matter then. Um, and like I said to you, I think that there's much more of an influence of combat in general there. Um, Really like the look of Yanez, very fast and accurate strikes. I'd agree with you, Lamore. Jack the Ripper. Everybody can be adjusted to pretty much any martial arts. Cooper, go for it. I think so, but I think that there's people that have just a greater tendency to be better at something. Like, there's all different kinds of wrestlers, but there's all different types of wrestling and grappling and martial arts, and there are body types that can tend to be suited more to different things, and your mindset as well can be suited. Kevin Matthew, meaning isn't ironic that jiu-jitsu beat shoot fighters in the 1990s? For example, Masters Gracie versus shoot fighters, jiu-jitsu won, but now because everyone does jiu-jitsu in shoot fighting, I don't think so. In shoot fighting, not in Shuto, he's talking about. James the Juice Man Ravenstein. Yeah, but they wrestle bears in Dagestan. That's a different. Cooper Marion, that's a solid point. Being in America, I see a lot of average wrestlers that don't translate because of how our coaches focus at times, compared to only the top from Dagestan who have mastered MMA. People, we're about to be on Super Cooper. Sorry, Cooper. I don't mean to stop there. We're off, people. First round, Super Cooper. 455. We have Yanez in the southpaw stance, switching to orthodox. Lopez is in a much more stock standard stance. Yanez is showing a lot of different looks, a lot of different movement. Lopez holding strong, always in the orthodox stance. But he's got good footwork himself. He's moving in and out. Yanez is feinting in a much more bladed kind of karate stance, switching his stances. And he's got nice kicks from different stances, does Yanez. And he goes looking for a right hand over the top, does Yanez. Lopez feints himself. They're both in orthodox stance now. Yanez was with a fantastic ability to change stances seamlessly, and he's landed some short, sharp punches a couple of times on Lopez now. Short, sharp ones, not a lot of damage, but he has gotten through. He's shown that he has the speed and the timing to do that. Oh, Lopez goes swinging for the fences with a massive overhand left. No, Yanez did. I'm sorry. They've moved around so much, I can barely keep up now with who's who. Okay. Excuse me. So Lopez is in the orthodox stance still, changing to southpaw. Just a second, guys. Okay, so we're back here. Lopez switching stances. Oh, left hand landed there by Lopez. A southpaw orthodox. Nice left hand landed by Lopez. Both guys moving. Not a lot happening, but there's a lot of like trying to gauge distance. Lopez has shown that he has fast hands. Yanez is holding tight there in the orthodox stance. Two minutes to go. Ooh, Yanez landed a nice little jab down the pipe on Lopez. Lopez is not as settled as Yanez. That's the term I'm looking for, I guess. Yanez seems to be a lot more settled in his stance, although he's staying in the orthodox stance. Lopez is moving back and forwards, southpaw to orthodox. But now I think Yanez is starting to get the measure of Lopez a tiny little bit. I don't really know how to score this round. Right hand landed by Lopez over the top, but I think Yanez caught him on the way in, but I couldn't tell because of the camera angle. They exchanged jabs. Again, when I was seeing this, I see Yanez landing that jab just a little quicker than Lopez does. Oh, right hand landed by Yanez on Lopez. Now Yanez is controlling the center of the cage with 1:13 to go in the first round. Lopez is being held up. Nice job by Yanez of cutting off the cage. Now Yanez is starting to open up a little bit more with his stance and whatnot. And again, like always, my internet. I don't know if it's my. I don't think it's my internet. I think it's a stream. This job is fantastic that Yanez is doing. Not a lot of people understand. Just you being able to cut off the cage and hold the person like this up against the with their back to the cage is a really, really good job. It's very, very nice job. But a left hand landed by Lopez there. This is extremely taxing for Lopez. Ooh, hit with a nice left hand. 30 seconds to go. Yanez with another left hand. This is extremely taxing, guys. When your back's up against a wall like this and somebody's cutting off the cage, it's extremely taxing on your neural system because you're constantly reacting to what the other person's doing. And Yanez is starting to get the measure here. And Lopez is having a very difficult time to mount any sort of offense from this position. 1-2 landed by Yanez. Not flush, but enough. 7 seconds to go. Yanez is doing a great job. Not often do you see people being this good at cutting off the cage. 2-1 time. Very, very nice. Kevin Matthew, sorry, do you believe that because everyone does jiu-jitsu, it's hard to take someone down, maybe combine shoot style and jiu-jitsu? I think everyone does jiu-jitsu, everyone does wrestling, everyone does striking, and it's getting harder and harder to find a weakness in each person's ability. Everyone can grapple now. Everyone's getting better at striking. I was going to say with this, when you see Yanez and he starts to put Lopez's back to the cage, the neural system starts to fatigue a lot very, very quickly because you're always reacting to whatever Yanez is doing. And that starts to tire you out a lot, and you start to get hit a little bit more. You can't bite. You bit on one feint, now you can't bite again. You've only got 3 ways to move now when your back's against the cage. You can go right, left, or straight through the guy. And that doesn't mean the game's over. There's guys that get quite good at fighting with their back on the cage, but it's not the norm. And it is quite hard, and you are reactive to the other person. So you can land shots. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is harder. And that was a really good job by Yanez in that scenario. So we're off. 4:55 to go in the second round. Lopez, both guys again in the orthodox stance. Lopez switches to southpaw and then back again. Yanez again is starting to slowly inch away and take the real estate from Yanez. Oh, right hand landed by Lopez. Sorry, Yanez is taking the real estate from Lopez. Slowly creeping up. Now he's got him. He's almost there at that ESPN sign. Again, nice little front kick landed by Yanez. Lopez in the southpaw stance. There was a low blow there, but both guys touched gloves. Yanez walking forward slowly, taking up the real estate. Lopez realizes this and tries to come out. He is making an attempt to come out. He's in the southpaw stance. I'd like to see him if he changes to southpaw to try and get that foot outside and get out and try and catch the center of the cage a little bit more. But Yanez is doing a fantastic job of cutting off the cage. 1-2 landed by Yanez on Lopez as he comes inside. Both guys in orthodox stance. Again, Yanez controlling the center. Really cutting off the cage. He's got very patient. I like the way Yanez fights. He's very patient, very methodical. And when he kind of lulls you into a sleep, but when he goes, he goes. Well, there we go. 1-2 landed over the top of the jab when Lopez was in the orthodox stance. Oh, drops him with a huge right hand. Does Yanez. Well done. Then Lopez shoots him for a double leg. He was in nice and deep, but he wasn't able to finish. Ooh, goes looking for a front flying knee, does Yanez. He's got Lopez a little bit hurt here. Lopez is super tough, though. Super tough. But that was a big right hand that landed. Yanez is very composed. I'm liking what I'm seeing with Yanez. Really liking what I'm seeing. Really nice. His striking is really good. Very patient. He does a lot of things. And this is what you see with good strikers. And this guy's a good striker. He does a lot of things while he's not striking. The way he cuts off the cage, the way he's just methodical and he just keeps pushing you back, pressuring you without necessarily throwing a ton of strikes. This is really good. Really good showing by this guy, by Yanez. And he's comfortable in there and patient. Really patient. And Lopez, I'd like to see him go orthodox and then go southpaw and circle and try to get to the center of the octagon. It's easy to say, hard to do. James asks, are you always looking for patterns in the fight? Well, yes, there's two things that are happening. One, you would have looked already and watched and prepared for it, and that's what you're preparing for. Certain movement patterns from each fighter. And you can look at like old footage of that fight, and they'll still have movement patterns. You know what I mean? They'll still move a certain way. If you look at a fight from anyone, like I don't know, pick anyone, pick Israel, and you look at his fights from 10 years ago, you can still tell it's him. He might have better skills now, absolutely does, but you can still tell it's him. His body moves a certain way. Then you start to see how the person fights as well. So there's the movement of your body, then you watch how a person fights and how they've developed over the years, and you start to pick up on those patterns. I'm talking about when you're preparing for someone. And then when the fighter himself is in there and he's already been prepared and he already knows that, he or she will also start to pick apart, like when you're playing poker, start to pick apart the tells of the fighter on the fly. Man, Yanez is looking really good. 36 seconds to go in this second round, and Yanez is winning both rounds comfortably, in my opinion. I would be shocked if they gave the fight at this stage to Lopez on anything other than a stoppage. Um, Really nice. Cooper Marion says Yanez's ability to feint and keep that mental pressure while staying so composed is awesome. Reminds me of Peter Yan, or is he building those reads, then putting it on them with the mental problems? Yeah, he has. He definitely has some of that in him. Yeah, absolutely. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Thank you, Kevin Matthew. Nice, nice. Under Professor Bernstein in the Gracie Almeida Association. From Kevin Matthew. Chili Miners. Yanez's power must be mental. He made Lopez hesitant from the start and is making the feints more effective because it bloody hurts when they're not feints. Laugh out loud. Yes. That and the pressure, the fact that he can just keep that pressure on, keep the pressure on. Then even if you're not hitting that hard, when you when the person faints and you they did a study on that on the second stimulus, you can't react as quickly to the second stimulus. So when he faints and you go like that, and then he hits you, he doesn't even have to hit you that hard. It'll hurt because you're not ready, you're not in a position to defend yourself, and you didn't see it coming. That's why it appears so fast. You don't see it coming, and it stings you. Lakani Lamour, if you were Lopez's coach, would you advise him to attack Yanez's front leg more because he's standing so bladed? I mean, I don't like to say if I was his coach because I don't know what his coach has said or whatnot, or what they prepared, or what my athlete's ability is, or anything like that. I would never be that condescending as to say that. I know you weren't being rude or anything. Go, ready to go. Third round is up. It depends because also it's not that easy to just attack the lead leg when the other guy's got you on the back foot. So there's probably a few things that Lopez, and I'm sure his coaches will look at it and take away from this fight that he could fix. And I don't know if attacking the lead leg as a blanket statement would be what exactly he needs to do here. Massive left hand landed. Massive left hand landed. Massive. Yanez landed a huge left hand and walked away. Wow. Lopez got hit very flush then. Very, very, very flush. It was almost anticlimactic the way he knocked him out. This Yanez guy is good, man. Got big power in his hands. Real smart the way he fights. He's good. You're going to see a lot more of him in the bantamweight division, I think. What a left hand. Boom, right. It was a right hand because from the angle that I saw it, I could only see, I saw that left hand come up from this angle, but it was a right hand that hit him. Wow. Jack the Ripper. My coach in kickboxing always used to, cut off the ring, don't follow him. You reminded me of that. I think I have PTSD. Yeah, you see that even in the UFC at a high level, you see guys follow the person around the octagon instead of cutting off the cage. So, yeah, that's very prominent. You don't, that's very common. Thoughts on slipping inside the jab versus outside? I think unless you're particularly very, very, very good and it's something that you've always done and you've gotten away with it and blah, 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 as a general rule of thumb, you slip outside the jab. Because if you slip inside, you're going to run into the right hand. I'm talking about orthodox. If the guy's orthodox, you slip outside, you're relatively safe. Well, you are safe, really. You slip outside and then you cut the angle and then you're all right. But if you slip inside, you're going to run into the right hand. But again, there are guys that can break that rule because they are so good. But that's not always a thing. No. I know you weren't trying to be rude, Lamore. I'm just saying, sometimes people look at it and just they say, oh, they should be doing, this guy should be doing that, should be doing this. What if I was his coach, I would say this or I would say that, and just out of respect for the coaches, man. I'm a coach, and so just out of respect for the coaches, you don't know what the athlete might not have that ability. You know what I mean? You don't know, and so it's not as easy as just saying that. I hear the commentators always, oh, the corner said this and the corner said that. You don't know what those words mean between you and your athlete. Just because I might not say something to my athlete in the corner or say it the way you think it should have been said, doesn't mean that the coach isn't communicating effectively. You know your athlete, and sometimes not saying anything is all you need to say. Nobody knows what that coach's relationship is with their athlete. So I think it's a little bit condescending or very condescending to go, oh, the coach should have been saying that, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm gonna have to block someone here. Please, guys, don't advertise streams on the feed. Don't fight a bash. Don't ask stupid, rude shit or be rude because I'll just block you. Thank you, Valeria. Hey, Valeria, thank you so much. You are a champion, Valeria. Thank you so much. Always supporting the show. Supported us on PayPal as well. That I really appreciate it. Makes a huge difference, guys. Any support doesn't even have to be financial. Valeria does support us financially. She does, and she's the best. But all of you guys that support us just by watching and whatnot means the world, man. I have to say. But Valeria is like someone that's always supported us from the start. And I just thank you so much. Joseph, coach, random question. Do you believe in ghosts? Any experiences? Interesting question. I don't necessarily know if ghosts is the answer that I would give to that, but I do believe in like there's energy, man. There's people that you deal with and they give you a certain energy, and then there's places that hold a certain energy. I was out when I was young, and we were out somewhere like near the Belangolo forest, and we were out paddy bashing a car, and we just got this like real weird feeling. It was like dusk, and it was just a real weird feeling. A mate of mine, and then like a little bit later after that, that's when they discovered like a whole bunch of bodies in that. So I don't know if and then sometimes like you deal with people and like you get a real bad energy, a real bad vibe, or you're somewhere and you get a real bad vibe somewhere. And so I believe in that stuff. I do. And then your mind is able to create the situation that makes it even worse. So I don't know if that's a answer to your question, Joseph. But yeah, so I don't believe in ghosts like as in Casper coming out to get me, but yeah, I believe that kind of stuff. Lucas Rivers, those chestnuts on your Instagram looked amazing, man. They fucking were. They are. We still have some left over. So yeah, the food was delicious. Again, I put the thing, but my wife has shown me how to make that a million times. Cooper Marion, Adrian's hand feints and pressure was so clean. Remind me of a slow down Corey San Hagen with more power. Yeah, man, the way that he fought and how sharp he was, how clean he was, how clean his punches were, how good his timing was. It was spectacular. It was really, really spectacular. I really, really impressed with that. Absolutely the real deal. I'd like to see him with somebody up the food chain now. Axis says ban them all, Fab. Oh, I don't want to ban them all, but I do want to ban people when they're a bit rude because I think we have a really good atmosphere and we have a good conversation and everyone enjoys it. You can ask questions and, I'm not always going to say the right thing. I don't know everything. So I appreciate the feedback that I get. I get to learn something every day that I do the podcast with you guys. So that's all awesome. But I don't like people like, don't bring your negative shit here. Take it somewhere else, Lopez needed to clinch and hold if you're losing the striking portion. Again, Kevin, it's really fucking hard to run in and clinch with someone that's got your timing the way that Yanez has. It's not how, you running in and clinching like that takes a lot of energy, a lot of strength, and you still have to overcome the distance and the timing to be able to do that. And then once you're in there, you have to be able to be effective with your clinch. Otherwise, you expended a lot of energy and you're going to get cracked. Lucas Rivers. Yeah, I spoke about it at the start, about the Ortega versus Volk fight. I'm gutted that it got called off. Jack the Ripper, having said what you said about coaches, did you feel a certain way after Rob versus Izzy fight when people were talking about Rob should have taken him down? Yeah, because people have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Like, that's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, and if Rob had caught him, everyone would have said he's a genius. And you have no idea what was going to come later in the fight, how the fight was going to develop. If Rob was going to take him down or not. But you're not taking Israel down unless you can stand with him. Unless, like I just said to Kevin, unless you can overcome that distance and that timing, and then like who are you, or who is it? Not you personally, you, but who is anyone to tell Rob how he felt in there? You know what I mean? Um, I don't think that, like, he got caught by a fantastic fighter. You know what I mean? Like it's like almost disrespectful to Israel. Do you think that he's that easy to take down? You know, Yan was able to take him down later in the fights because he was able to engage him with the striking, was able to hurt him with the striking. And once that started happening, the fourth and fifth, he was able to take Israel down. But if you think you're just going to run in and clinch Israel and take him down, you're out of your mind. Yeah, I know it's off, Christian. I would have rather seen it. Um, there's so many spots where the martial arts combine that have loads of room to evolve, like how boxing footwork can be used in setting up takedowns. Peter Yan's showing the evolution of that, in my opinion. Now, you're absolutely right, Chili. There is a massive evolution of that. You know what I mean? That's a huge area of growth. You know, there's a lot of things that people don't. They just don't get it. You know what I mean? They don't get it. So there's not, and also like when you see someone like Peter Yan and you see his ability to take people down in unorthodox fashions, a lot of that is in the fact that his boxing is so developed. You know, so he's able to get himself into positions with superior footwork as well, where he's already planted in a nice position to be able to throw the combinations or go for takedowns. Um, but yeah, it's never just leg kick him or take him down. That's as useful as saying win the fight. Yeah, Chili Miners 1 billion fucking percent. Um, yeah, Joseph. People don't know how hard it is to take down Izzy. Took Jan 3 rounds before it happened in their fight. Absolutely, man. It's like you're honestly, like, I'm obviously going went for Rob in that fight, and I would go for Rob again. But it's kind of like weird that people are so like disrespectful even of the other guy's style. You're not just running in and taking him down, and to not understand the complexities of the fight, like it's weird. What's up, Fab? Owako says, um, who do you have, Holland or Brunson? I think Brunson has improved a lot, but Holland has the confidence. Um, man, I don't know. I think, like I said, if Brunson can slow him down and fight at a more like slower pace, hold him up against the cage, if he can do that. I'm not saying what he should do. I'm saying if he can do it, you know, he might be able to start to take Holland into the later rounds. If they both fight erratically, it could be anyone's fight. Fab, do you hear about Rodolphus Gillespie reschedule? No, I haven't as of yet. I have not. I'll be back in a second, guys. I am back, people. I am back. Let's see. Jack the Ripper, best technical advice from Nick Diaz. I don't know. I haven't heard a lot, but it's funny you say that because here's the thing: if he's giving that advice to whatever, even if it's to us sounds like bad advice, um, I don't know because I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But the thing is, he knows fighting. He's a very smart guy for fighting. Two, he knows the guys that he's cornering, so he knows what to say to them, what those words mean between each other. Like it's not like yeah, it's not really for us the commentating. It's not really for us that are listening. It's for that person that's in there. Their their conversation between the fighter and his coach. Um, okay, James the Juiceman. Did you all see the weigh-ins? I'd shave my ball bag for Montserrat Ruiz with hashtag Manscaped. Just saying. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm sure she appreciates it. Chili Miners, he's my personal fight of the night. Big fan of Montserrat for reasons. Sorry if it's been asked already, but who has your pick for the main event? I said Brunson if Brunson can slow it down. If Brunson can slow it down and fight at his pace, and he might be able to get a win later in the fight. I think if they fight erratically and they fight explosively, I believe that the advantage is for Holland. That's Holland has the momentum behind him, and he has the that kind of the youthful exuberance, if you will, um, to win that. So I don't. I'm not a fan of neck tats. I don't got friends with neck tats, but I always end up looking at the person's neck tats when I'm talking to them. Yeah, so I don't know who wins out of the two of them, but I do think it's that kind of thing. Like if Holland can go out and fight his pace, fight kind of explosively, erratically, then he's going to win. If Brunson can go out there and slow the fight right down, then I think he'll win. Um, the mic's blocking the rock lamps. I'm not feeling the positive energy. James. There you go, my brother. All right, we're off. Montserrat is coming out. She's angry at the world, walking out very, very determined, very full on. This looks like it's going to be a barn burner. She's a strong girl, man. Fab, did you see that Julia Storyalenko fainted during the weigh-ins? No, I didn't. How did they go? How did she go? Did she end up fighting? No, I didn't. I didn't see it. She was in. She was on the house with us. In the house with us. Um, I meant to ask about Juliana. Sorry if you talked about her earlier. She's a tough girl from what I saw in Tough. Yeah, she is, man. She's certainly different. Sir Marco Boy, she fights Lethway, the where you can Burmese boxing, we can headbutt. Odd question, but what did you think of Michael Bisping as a fighter? I seem to remember Rob was going to fight him a long time ago. How would you did you game plan for him? Um, I don't think that Bisping, this all respect to Bisping, but I don't think he would have matched up well with Rob. I don't think. I think Rob's like I sound disrespectful, but I'm not trying to sound disrespectful. I just think Rob's a faster, stronger, better version of Bisping, and that's with all due respect. I think that Bisping, what one of the big things was, and not to talk too much about it, but was weren't going to let Bisping get a roll on, like you can't let him get that confidence going. But I don't think that Bisping, they actually have had sparring partners in common, and I don't think that Bisping had the striking that Rob does at all. And then we, I don't think Bisping will be able to get Rob down. And I think Rob's stand up is quite a few different levels to Bisping. With all respect to Bisping, that's my opinion. And like I said, there's been a few sparring partners in common, and I don't think that Bisping would have outstruck Rob or outgrappled him. That's right, Triple J Doe. Neck tats are only viable if you are financially stable. That's right, sir. Um, Yeah, but Joseph Brunson hasn't been coming out guns blazing the last few fights. When he fought Edmund, he fought really well. He was smart, you know. Montserrat is here. She's 9-1. She's a plus 240 underdog. She looks very, very determined in this fight. Yeah, she does have some Gabrant level neck tats. Do I believe in hard sparring? Depends on who the person is, what stage of the career they're at, what stage of their actual training they're in. So yeah, I'm not categorically against it. Minus 330 favorite for Cheyanne buys. So, but I don't. I'm not like Jim Wars kind of person. No, I don't. I don't like that shit like that. Um, this Mark Smith, the referee, that's what I'm going to look like when I get on steroids. I'm going to look like Mark Smith. Hassan Ahmed, what's happening, boys? What's happening, Hassan? Hassan Ahmed, guys, ask him if you can go to his webpage, go to his Instagram. He's an upcoming drill rapper from England. Boys has landed quite a few shots on Montserrat. Montserrat is in nice and deep. She's got an over under on buys, and then the internet has frozen. I love that it's frozen already on me. I think it is ESPN. Does ESPN freeze on everybody else or whatever this thing is? So Volk's got COVID. Fuck. Yeah, I actually messaged his coach, but yeah. So Conejo with the takedown. Conejo means rabbit in Spanish, by the way. Conejo with the takedown. She does that throw really, really well, does Conejo. And this scarf hold is awful, you know. It is awful. It's not that easy to get out of someone that's got a good scarf hold like this. But she hasn't got buys flat. If she can get buys flat, she can start to create a lot of pressure from this position and get a submission from here. But she hasn't got a flat. Buys is doing a fantastic job of turning onto a side. I don't think you're going to see a lot of these types of submissions. I could be wrong here, but in the women's division, just because women are so flexible, man, they have that flexibility to be able to keep turning their body a lot of the times more than men. And the upper body kind of strength and positioning that's required, it's a little bit different. It tends to be, you tend to see this more in the heavier guys than you see it in the lighter weight women. And anyone that says no, high level jiu-jitsu guys wouldn't get caught in this. Again, that's massive mishap. Barnett caught Dean Lister in this, and Dean Lister's about as high level a grappler as you are going to get. So yeah. No, Volk's in the US, man, at the moment. Great work by Conejo to have this situation here. This is really, really good. I love this position, by the way. I don't love being in this position. I have a friend, guy who wrestled in the Eastern Bloc, Gorian Stojevski. Shout out to Gorian if anybody knows him. Dude, he loves this position. Loves it. I've seen him tap everyone from this position. Really decent guys too from this position. But look at the flexibility. This is what I talk about, the flexibility in the women's division. Like, not a lot of guys have that type of flexibility. Conejo's doing a fantastic job. Now she's landing ground and pound from the scarf hold, and she's keeping that elbow up. As long as she can keep that elbow, she's going to be able to keep Buys from being able to escape. Buys has now started to get her own leg. She's got like a hook, so she's halfway to taking the back, halfway to getting a twister kind of thing. But I don't think she's going to get out like that either. You know, Conejo seems to be quite good at this position. The thing is, you can escape people that's not their position. I don't have that good of a scarf hold. My friend is the same size as me, but his scarf hold is like fucking good, way better than mine. You know, I don't have a traditional, like a really good hold from there. So it's hard when you somebody that's their position can hold you there. It's different. You can't. It's a different pressure, man. Now she's got the fence there to keep her balance, and this will start to become even harder for boys. She's landing good ground and pound, is Conejo. Nice work. She's doing great job, man. I'm a fan of the scaffold, and my heart goes out to Baez because I've been in this position a lot. A lot. My mate, that's the position he catches you in, and he just fucks your life. And all of these things that Baez doing, I'm trying to do to get out. It's not easy. When somebody knows that position well, it's hard. Great job by Conejo. Really good job. I do wonder how fatigued her arms are getting from this position. She's looking for the finish here. But like I said, it's hard with the girls, man. It's hard. They're so flexible. A lot of pressure on the diaphragm from in this position. Not right now. Bai's doing a good job of scooting out the back and getting that hook in. I like it. Hey, there is another finish you can do, and maybe Conejo will try it. And that's when, if she can get her leg free, you can grab the other leg and the arm, and you almost put yourself in a crucifix, but you can really crush him. Now, Baez is looking to take the back of Conejo, and she does. She's taken the back, and that's the round. Ladies and gentlemen, that was cool. Okay. Martova, yeah, he's in the US. He's in the US, not here at the moment. No, not Volk, our short king, Cooper Marion. Thank you, JJ Doe, for the Atari shout out. Hassan Ahmed, you very much are a drill rapper. Chili Minus, I think Scarf holds one of those submissions that goes into the maybe if you're a heavyweight category. Man, if you do it right, you can. But it's hard in the girls, man, because they're very flexible, and so you can move your body in a lot of different ways. But like I said, man, I know personally, unfortunately, all too well that Scarfhold can catch you out. We're about to start again. We're off. Olenik's tapped a bunch of people with the scaffold. Juan Espino's tapped a bunch of people with the scaffold. Barnett has tapped Thingo with the scaffold. Oh! Landing a right and a left and a right and a left. Again, this is what I should do to my fucking mate every time we grapple and he gets me in a scaffold. I'd love to get up and just tee off on him. And he can't stand at all. So I'd look like Roy Jones Jr. His stand-up shit. He can't stand up at all. But he can grapple. He's a very good wrestler. So when he gets in the scaffold, he fucks your life. But now I'm living a fantasy through buys of me doing this to my mate Gurian after a scaffold. After he's held me down in a scaffold for 5 minutes. Buys doing good. Stay outside of the range. She has to either come in and good, right, left landed by Buys. Conejo's super tough. Buys us to stay out of that hold, man. Buys trying to walk forward, get in range, and she's looking for that clinch, and they're throwing punches in the clinch. And now Buys has got her in that clinch work again. She's looking for this as well again, but I think Buys doing a good job of starting a circle down. And she hasn't got. Conejo does this throw with her right arm over the top. You can't let her get your right arm over the top. You can't. You got to stop that. You got to stop that from the very beginning because she doesn't do it with her left hand over the top. If you watch her previous fights, right hand over the top, she does this really well. Very good by Buys to get out of that. Jesus. You can't let Conejo get this arm over the top because that's how she does the fucking throw every time. She puts her arm over the top, the right hand over the top. Now, I don't know how gassed out Buys or Conejo are to get out or into this position further. How much isometric contraction either one of these girls have left. She's doing a good job of controlling that elbow, is Conejo, and flattening out Buys. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now that Buys is flat, it becomes a problem for Buys. It's a big issue here. And the breathing on the diaphragm starts to really take it out of you. Conejo, obviously, this is a move that she does, and she does quite well. I've seen her do this before. But it's always with the right arm over the top. honestly, hold on to the right arm. Do whatever you can so she doesn't get that throw off. She does this well. And Bai's starting to slowly get flatter. You can see it. She's trying to create the momentum to turn, but it's hard, man. It's hard when someone's got such a good base. No, I didn't see the boxing earlier. Yep. So she's deep, man. Like, oh, she's going for this Kimura. She's going for the arm lock here. She's going for it, but I think it'll be very hard for her to finish that while she's in the hooks. Yeah, now she's got it. Now she's got it. Now she's got it. She's got to bring that right leg back. She's got to bring that right leg back while continuing to hold the head. Ooh, his boy's going to be able to do it. The girls are so weird, man, because they're so flexible. She's looking for an inverted triangle or even an armbar. And just more than anything to get the head away. But Conejo still has Bai's arm trapped in there. Oh, she going to be able to roll out of it? She did. Great job by Bai's. Oh my God. But she still did see that arm over the top. That's where she does it from. That's where she does the throw from. Every time with that right hand. You can't let that right hand get there. It's definitely all Conejo now, my opinion. Like, she's won 2 rounds, and Bai's going to have to finish her in the third to win, my opinion. Wow. Oh my God. I love it. Nice escape here by Bai's. She's gone into a smash pass, and Conejos goes looking for, but she didn't put the right pressure on that smash pass, and Conejo goes looking for a leg lock, but she wasn't able to get her leg over. There's 19 seconds to go. Bai's going to try and land some ground and pound. And pass. She's starting to pass from the half guard into the full mount. And she's achieved the full mount with 7 seconds to go. She's going to land a few little elbows here. 3, 2, 1. Time. That's so interesting. What an interesting fight. Okay, sorry guys. I'm going to skip a few so that we kind of catch up to where we're at. John Con drums. Scarf hold is a new calf kick. Confirmed. I think so. Yeah. Beetlejuice. Hey, Fabsy. How are you, Beetlejuice? How are you, my brother? Glad to have you with us, my friend. Beetlejuice, just doing some pram shopping with the wife. Do you have any recommendations? Honestly, man, I don't get too expensive prams, man, because you grow out of them, and they're very cumbersome. The more expensive ones, I think the mid-range ones are pretty good. Like, my wife and I almost bought a really expensive one, and we don't use it that much. I just carry it on my shoulders most of the time, my baby, you know. And when we do use the pram, it's not really the expensive ones that we use. So not too expensive, guys. We're off again. Now the question is, how much gas do they have left in the tank? They both look good starting off. Baez is landing a straight right down the pipe. Conejo is in the southpaw stance, circling outside. I've got to believe that Conejo has 2 in the bag. I've got to believe that. Oh, Baez is circling for her to come into the center of the octagon to exchange, and Conejo waves her off, says, nah, we don't need to. We're going to go up against the cage, and I'm going to get you in a head arm throw, and I'm going to scarf hold you if I can and hold you down for the rest of this round. That seems to be the plan from Conejo, and she does that really, really well, and I admire that. Baez is trying some gamesmanship to get her to go in the middle of the octagon, but Conejo doesn't want it. And you know what? I do believe she's got this round to give away. So she shouldn't be doing too much chasing. There's 4 minutes to go. I like this fight. This is going to go down to the wire because I think Bai's stand-up is way too good for Conejo's. But Conejo has the one thing that she does, which is a scarf hold, and she does it. When they clinch, look for Conejo's arm to come, the right arm to come over the top of Bai's up near her head. If that happens, then the throw's on. And Bai's has to do anything but allow that arm to get up. She can do anything else. She's landing really good shots on Conejo. Really good shots, is Bai's. You have to wonder though, how much power do those shots have? How much gas does each girl have left in the tank? There's 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Bai's has to open up here a little bit. And she's landing nice shots. Nice little jab landed by Conejo. But this is all Bai's on the feet. All Bai's. Conejo comes forward. She's in a southpaw stance, holding the center of the octagon. I believe that Conejo has won 2 rounds here, but Bai's winning this one convincingly. Anytime it's been on the feet, Bai's looks a lot better. And Bai's landing that lead right hand all day. Now she's looking for it. She's looking for it. She hasn't got it. Little left hand on the break landed by Bai's. Then Conejo goes looking for it as well. Bai's, you cannot let her get her right arm up near your head. There we go. She did it again. Yes. I love this girl. Good on you, Conejo. Good on you. And there's a scarf hold. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe the Bai's will get out from the bottom. There's 2 minutes to go. And Conejo's landing the little punches. How you can land a punch there, which is nice, is to just do it like you're knocking on a door rather than try and punch. If you punch, you're landing with the gloves and you don't have the same kinetic energy. But if you land like you're knocking on the door in this position here, you're going to bruise up a whole head. And you could even cut her. So I would be knocking on the door. Knock, 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 knock on the door in that position. 1 minute, 25 seconds to go. Really, really good job by Conejo. It's every time that right arm comes up over the top, like you're better off giving her double underhooks. Oh, she's reversed her. Has Bai's managed to do it? She's reversed her. She has. She needs a finish here, does Bai's. She's looking to take the back. She's got the firearm control. Conejo turns into her. Man, the girls are so flexible. She could be looking. Oh, they've taken each other's back. The guy's looking for a calf slice. Conejo done a great job. Now she's landed on top and she's landing some nice ground and pound, but Bai's has the underhook. Now she's in full guard. Great job by Conejo. Conejo has to square off her hips, and I think this will be the wrap. There's 35 seconds to go. I'm really impressed every time I see the girls fight, how flexible they are. And they're really different to the men's, the fighting. Wow. I love it. Double under. No, she's holding her. Man, she's good, man. She's doing good. 21 seconds to go. What a fight. What a fight. And see, this is one of those situations where I say to you, like Conejo put in such a crazy amount of effort to do what she did. She got a game off. If you let her take you down 10 times with the scarf hold, then that's on you. Now they're just landing shots on each other from that position. They go all the way to the wire. Oh, they keep going after the bell. They keep going after the bell. Bai's had 15 minutes to fight, and now she wants to keep going. She had 15 minutes to fight. If somebody holds you down like that, it's on you. It is on you. It is on you. Bassard and Skelpild says, took her 4 tries to take the back of a head and arm. James, I'm buying the pram so you lose respect for me. That will make my day. Man, if you get good at a scarf hold, it's good. It's hard to, but you were watching GSP versus, I think Israel is a much better striker, man. And I don't think GSP would do well there. Okay. Yeah, man. Conejo, massive underdog. came in and did it, man, with a little scarf hold, a little engine that could. Good on her, man. Good on her. I hope cooler heads prevail. And both girls, obviously, they're very feisty. They both love fighting. And so, kicked on a little bit. Hopefully, they'll shake hands and everything will be cool after the fight. But, man, you get held down, you get held down. That's it. That's what happens, man. That's a fight. You might not like it, but it's not a kickboxing fight. It's awful. It's an awful feeling to be held down and you can't do anything. So great job by Conejo. Wow, that was so impressive. Nathan's so wavy says, "Love the girl drama." Beetlejuice, how's business been, Fab? You keeping busy? I am, mate. I am doing corporate work has picked up a little bit. I'm doing a little bit of work for a company in the city as a performance and wellness coach. Just coaching their team through and that. So Bias is clapping. Conejo got the win. She's saying shh to everyone. She did a great job. Good on her, man. Got good on her. Montserrat Conejo. Mate. Chili Minus says reminds me of Wandy throwing the hissy fit after Sonnen held him down for 25 minutes. Man, if you get held down, you lost. Like I said before, like if you're at a bus stop and somebody runs by and holds you down and you miss your bus, you missed your fucking bus. That's it. You missed the bus. There's nothing you can do about that. Like he held you down. Or Paul Daly versus Josh Koscheck. I think the thing with Daly and Koscheck, I think Koscheck said some stuff to him there that I think that was the issue. I don't think it was so much the fact that he got held down from memory. Wow. Yes, I'm doing a little bit of corporate coaching. I'm training a couple of guys. Just doing some there's a couple of young guys coming up now that I'm training and they're interesting, So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Chili Miners, 100%. If you get held down, you're done. You're fucked. There's no anything. You got held down. If you should have got back up. It's an effort. Trust me when I tell you this. To take someone down in an MMA fight, and they don't want to be taken down. It's a huge effort. Huge. Conejo did provoke it at the bell. Oh, okay, I didn't see that, Giggs Bosun. I didn't see what happened there, like exactly. So, yeah. But there you go. If that was the case, then yeah, fair enough. Back-to-back wins, 10-1, and she got this is all right. Cool. Beetlejuice, good to hear, brother. Getting back to the baby shopping. We'll be back soon. Peace. Good luck, man. Good luck. And congratulations on your baby. Wow. I'm not a fan of the tats. But hey, it is what it is. Montserrat Conejo. Jiu-Jitsu belt in purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She must obviously have a judo or wrestling background to get that all the time. Chili Miners. Tattoos and scarf holds are the best base for MMA. I agree, mate. James Adjuceman says, "Don't buy another baby." Yeah, don't buy another one. That's the last thing you should do. So now we have Max Griffin versus Song Kenan. I'm with Max Griffin on this one. I'm a big fan of his. I like him. I think he's improved a lot. We spoke about it on the podcast with him. And, he's evolving now, I think a lot. Not now, I think he was evolving the whole time, but he's evolving as a fighter. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see him fight. Those neck tats, she has a Mexican cartel background, I reckon, says John Con Drums. I'm a big fan of the tats, says Chili Miners, but they're definitely love or hate. Yeah, you know what? I don't hate him, though, in fairness. I don't hate him. It's just one of those things where when I'm talking to someone that's got a neck tattoo, I can't help but look at it. I've got friends with neck tats, but I just can't help but look at them. And while I'm looking at the neck tats, I'm always looking and thinking, what message are you trying to convey? Like, what are we trying to get out here, man? At Francis Ngannou versus Miocic, my God, my God, man, these guys are huge. Francis hits so hard. Miocic hits hard. Miocic can wrestle. He can wrestle his ass off. Man, it's going to be a crazy fight. I can't wait. I can't wait. Miocic is huge, but Francis looks like they made him in a lab. Fantastic. Big Cormier as well. Okay. Definitely don't have the balls to get something like Ben myself, Chili Miners. But that's the thing, exactly what you just said, Based. Those won't look good when you're 60. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that they'll look good when you're 60. Martovi, do you have any interviews lined up at the moment? Man, there are a couple of people I'm talking to. There's a few people, but it's very hard, man. I'm very, very time poor at the moment. Like I'm really, really, really under the pump with work, with fatherhood, with by work I mean coaching and training and doing all the stuff that I do. Like, it's because all the stuff I do on a corporate level is still coaching, and I just had a really good offer that came through, and kind of taken that, and it's hard, man. It's really, really hard to balance all that. So there are a couple of guys that I've been talking to, and we want to do it, but they're not from here and they live overseas, and it's really hard to get the whole thing going. And I don't want to. There's a certain genre of people in that I'm looking for. So it's difficult. Um, Tattoos add +10 on your takedowns from Joseph. Oako says, how is he still the underdog? Damn, it's the power, man. Alonso stage, who you got for the main event? Like I said, I can't tell you one guy definitively, but I would say to you, like I said, if Brunson can slow the fight down, can get the takedowns, can kind of, fight his own game, hold him up against the cage, and just slow it down, especially in those first 2 rounds. He can take it out into deeper water and win. Of course, either one of these guys can catch the other guy, but if they fight kind of erratically, guns blazing, I think that the youthful exuberance, that hubris of youth, and the confidence and the momentum is in Holland's favor. Totally understandable. Yasin says, you have time for this. I do have time for this. Owaka, amen, brother. John Condrums, neck tats ad. Yep. And -50 job interviews success. That's right. Yasin Solomon, Holland, bro. Yes. Ben Gallagher, all the way from Ashcroft. If it's a Ben Gallagher I think of, you were in primary school with me too. You're a few years below me in primary school, at Liverpool Public School. Am I right? And then you went to Ashcroft High School as well. Fucking hell, nothing soft comes out of the croft. Ben Gallagher. Am I right? Is that who it is? The same Ben Gallagher, the one and only? And you were boxing for a little while then. Went to primary school together, went to high school together, quite a few years below me. Owako, neck tattoo is a chastity belt for a regular job. I think so, man. I agree with you. Ben Gallagher, the one and only. Yes, sir. Man, I remember you like in primary school, dude. I remember you had the haircut with a and this was like, by the way, guys, this was, and I'll tell you now what year was this. This was about 91, right? 92. This guy was rocking a a haircut where he had bricks shaved into his head. But this was in 91, man. This was in 91. This is way before people like were going to school with like mullets being the new norm. This is way before that. So Ben Gallagher, fashion wise, was way ahead of his time. Way ahead. Way ahead. Good on you, Ben Gallagher. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're healthy. Nice fights for next week. Oh, Jesus. There's going to be some crackers next week, eh? Oh my god. Wow. Based and scale build. Jack the Ripper says, I wasn't born in 91 and Ben was rocking fashion haircuts. He was a pioneer in the bad hair game. It wasn't too bad. It was out there though. It was exciting. It was different. Original Sin says, Coach, have you any plans to set up an MMA promotional company to organize fights in New South Wales regions since you have been in this industry for so long? No, I don't want to promote fights or anything like that at this stage. Anyways, something might change in my mind. Maybe I do. I don't know, but nah, I'm not right now. Maybe I do. I don't know, but right now, no. But now that you say that, maybe I do. I never really wanted to or thought about promoting. Oh, Max Griffin, here we go. He's a good guy, man. I like this guy on the podcast. Um, Chili Miners, God, that Steve Bernagano fight's going to be both great and horrible to watch. Any moment he could just get his head bonked into the bleachers. That is 1000% true. Martovi, speaking of bricks, I knew this bloke from high school that bought a brick online which allegedly belonged to Eminem. I don't even know why you'd fucking want to buy a brick, anyways. That's so funny. What the fuck, James Adjustman? What did you say? They banned mullets at some school in Sydney. That's disgusting. Mullets are a staple of the Australian economy. Alonso Stange, you think Francis has improved enough his wrestling to make a difference this time? I don't know, because not many people have tried to wrestle him. I'm assuming that he would have been working on his wrestling. The problem is it's not just your wrestling that makes it difficult for someone like Stipe. Because you can have improved your wrestling, but you still have to get the timing right. And if you get put on the back foot, not literally walking backwards, but on the back foot as in you're behind him, like he boxes you, you go to box him and he goes for the takedown, that's where the problem starts for you. So it's going to be, can Stipe do that more than Francis can keep the distance and still sit and land those big power shots? Original Sin, let me know when you have decided. I am in to assist. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Martovi, at high school would get suspended for having hair too short. They'd probably behead us if we rocked up with a mullet. Were you at a private school? The Hungarian Hustler. Just jumped on now to hear Fab call the main event shared on Facebook. Thank you, sir, the Hungarian Hustler. I appreciate that, sir, and I appreciate the support. This welterweight bout between Kenan and Griffin is going to be great. I can't wait to see this fight. I'm a big fan of Max Griffin. Based on skill build, yeah, Francis had a lot of problems with Stipe's jab as well. Yeah, that's one of the things. That's what I mean. It's not just Stipe's wrestling; it's his boxing that I see being a problem for Francis as well. He's like, has he improved all of that to that point to be, and both things at once, and the ability to put that together and then do it in the fight, And all of that having said, oh yeah, this last fight, Max Griffin almost blew that guy's ear off. So, wow. I really hope he does well, man. Joseph, coach, thoughts on Till versus Vittori? I think this will be a coming out party for Vittori, a proper coming out party. If he gets past Vittori, if Vittori gets past Till, that will give us a really, really good indication of where he sits in and amongst all those other middleweights. I dare say that that he can beat Till. I see Till just being a little bit more fluent, a little bit more less robotic on the feet. I see Till hitting quite a bit harder. But having said that, Vittori has impressed the hell out of me, dude. Really, really impressed me. So I don't know. I really don't know that fight. Cold-blooded. I don't need any details, but just curious, did the game plan for Robert against Kelvin change since they were originally supposed to meet? I don't know. I haven't worked with Rob for almost 2 years, for a year and a half. I haven't worked with Rob for at least a year and a half. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is today. Max seems so relaxed, Yasin says. Yes. Rick James. Fab, are you surprised that Vittori is a betting favorite against Till? Nah, not really. Like, because the way that the game is, people just go off wins and losses, and they forget the last. Like, they only think about the last fight. Having said that, Vittori looked great. Till looked good, but he lost to Rob. You see what I mean? So um, that affects people. I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested to see. Vittori's got a lot of momentum. Like, that fight with Hermanson changed the landscape. Just in kind of below that upper echelon at middleweight, it kind of changed things. Fab, does Masvidal has any chance with a full camp? Alonso, well, he had a chance without the full camp as well. It wasn't like um, Usman didn't get hit or hurt. Like, he did get hit and hurt. So now I think it changes stuff. Sometimes it doesn't have to change things physiologically for you when you've done a full camp, but it changes things for you psychologically, where you know you've done the work and you've got it in the bag and you got it in the bag and you know what to do. That can change things a lot psychologically. So what that means, who knows? Chili Miners middleweight top five is getting really spicy. Look, for a long time, I felt that it was kind of Rob and Israel had pulled away from everyone. And I think the next few fights are going to show us where everybody kind of sits and where everybody is. Um, that was my opinion. That's just my opinion. Apparently, Rockhold could get the winner of Vittori and Till. Fuck, put Rockhold in there as well. I don't know. Rockhold is he's gotten a little bit older and whatnot, so I don't know like how he'll go. But yeah, what do you say? you know, um, Usman can take the shots, maybe. Well, you got to see. We've got to see the fight. Welterweight is an interesting division. I'd say it's a division where a majority of the fighters have some sort of tension between everyone else. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of good guys. There's a little bit like there's a lot of good guys there at at welterweight, and I'm a huge fan of Masvidal, but I don't know that he deserves, from just a fighting perspective, the fight against Usman. I'm a huge fan of Masvidal. I hope Masvidal wins, to be honest with you, but that isn't the issue. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you got guys, like a Leon Edwards on an 8-fight win streak, obviously notwithstanding what happened the other day. Covington is an interesting guy as well there. Wonder Boy, um, Burns himself there. So there's a lot of interesting fights there at the welterweight division. I don't think that there is that sort of other, notwithstanding the fact that Usman has been a champion for such a dominant champion, but welterweight has that X factor in it. I think. Sir Lancelot, have a feeling that Usman will have more confidence in his hands and get the finish. Possibly, possibly. James Adjuseman, I'm going to petition to get Rob. Come on, mate. I'm not going to do that. Alonso Stange, I doubt Usman can finish Masvidal. I don't know. Chili Miners, yet being with Whitman, especially as a coach, he really seems to have his mind towards getting knockouts with his fighters. Beetlejuice, James, no. And Yasin Solomon says, Usman made more gains since they fought. He's on a different level. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Minus 210 favorite is Max Griffin. Looking very good. He's pulling some sort of face. Is Max Griffin. Man, his podcast that I did with him is an interesting one. He's a good guy, this guy. I'm gonna make sure I message him when he's done. Hopefully he wins and I can message him congratulations. And then we have ourselves the main event. We've got a pothole outside our place big enough to have a UFC heavyweight Royal Rumble. Are you in Australia, Martovi? Beetlejuice, how's the rain at the gong? Man, it's heavy, 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 bad, 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 bad. But I love it here because, like, I live right on the escarpment, in between the beach and the escarpment. I live right on the water, so it's actually extremely picturesque when it rains. But we're getting to the part where it's part beyond the joke. We're off, guys. Both guys in the orthodox stand. Max Griffin starts off throwing heat. I don't know if Song's going to be able to just withstand this, but Song does land a little jab. Both guys, Max Griffin's throwing everything at Song. Both guys exchange jabs. Both guys get hit. Griffin goes looking for it. Griffin's got like an awkward style. Like it throws you off. Like his timing is a little bit funny. Like it's kind of like his body moves and then the punch comes a little bit behind. And then the next one, the punch goes and then the body moves. Not that he doesn't hit hard. Not thing. It's just got a really awkward style. And has got Song up against the cage, which is good, by the way. I'm not a criticism. So he's got nice head position here and he's lifted the leg up, has Griffin. Song's looking to break the grip here. Griffin's in nice and deep. He's got good head position. Song is pushing away at the elbow. Great. Nice work. Very good bicep control by Song. They both hit each other on that exchange. Both guys in the orthodox stance. Song goes looking for a left high kick. Nothing doing. Griffin goes looking for a right to the body. Inside leg kick landed by Griffin. Outside leg kick landed by Griffin. Nice. That one landed, and that one seems to have hurt Song, and Griffin goes looking for it again. Hurt him to the extent that Song has now changed to southpaw. Goes looking for a front snap kick, does Song. Nothing doing. Looks for an oblique kick. Nothing doing. And that calf kick landed, and that calf kick hurt him. Now they're both in orthodox stance. Nice 1-2 by Song, and goes looking for a left kick to the body. Front kick by Song. Another front kick by Song, none of which is landing. Inside leg kick by Griffin. Right hand landed by Griffin. 1-2. Oh! Huge knockout by Griffin. What a huge knockout. Oh my God. Slept him. Completely slept him. My God. Huge power there. Right hand landed. Boom. Song stumbles. He's a bit out of it. 1-2 landed right on the chin. Both shots landed on the chin and he completely slept Song. Completely slept him. My God. What a shot. Wow. Wow. What a shot. Hope Song's all right because those shots landed pretty fucking brutally on him. Wow. 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 Yeah, 1 second, guys. I'm actually still going to be here. I just opened the blinds and I want to see if I can get on my Instagram, on the story, if I can put what it looks like because people are asking about the rain. So I'll just try and find how. I don't even know how to do this. My wife usually helps me with this. And let me see if I can do this. Okay, I think I'm officially a bit of a fucking slow coach. Okay. I'm going to put this up now. See how the rain is. Where I'm at. I'm here doing the podcast. I'm about to do the main event, people. And people are asking about the rain and what it's looking like. That's all the fog up on the escarpment. Okay, my story. Done. All right. Fucking based early stoppage. My God. The Hungarian hustler says, I'll figure with those names in your show title, people will stumble across you a lot more. I hope so, sir. My God, man, he hit him so good. And it was like a 1-2, right? Like boom, boom. And it got him right on the chin, man. Got him right on the chin. Really good shots, man. Really good shots. Big win. Big win. So T says, hell yes, on one Holland win away from a big 5-pick parlay. I hope you get it, T. I hope you get it. I'm coming back. I'm going to get more water. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really, really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing, amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. I used to go to, my dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool. And ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. Okay. Yeah, man. Rick James, the Gillespie fight got cancelled. Um, sorry to hear about that, eh? What do you do? That was going to be a cracker fight. The fights have been pretty good this card, so I've been pretty impressed by it. But man, the I was looking really, really looking forward to Gillespie versus Riddell, and I'm actually upset, and I'm upset for next week's fights as well. You know, I was really looking forward to next week's fights. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Brunson as well. If Brunson comes forward the way he did against Rob or something like that, then yeah, I think he's going to get beat. Or if he lets Holland get off the way Holland wants to get off, he's going to get beat. But if Holland can, if Brunson can slow it down like he fought Shabazian or something like that, then he has some good experience and he's very strong, very physically strong guy, very good wrestling pedigree, a lot of power in his hands. So um, yeah, I think in that there are things that Brunson can do. Whether or not he's going to be able to do them, that's a different story. Coach, any book recommendations? What genre? What genre? Brunson's gotten better about his entries and used a lot more feints to set up the blitzes against Edmund. Not to mention Jacare only needed one blast double to get Holland down. Yes, I do agree with you, cold bloodist. What genre, Joseph? Who do you have to win the fight in 2 weeks between Godzilla and King Kong. My Toby. What are we going to do with you, mate? The Hungarian hustler, Rick James Holland, seems more a lot of Izzy, so I see him being too smart for Brunson. Brunson, Brunson is not ready for this, as you're seeing. First Australian, even with Shabazin, he was still rushing forward with his hands down, his chin up, though, Fab, against a technical striker that's dangerous as hell. I agree. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I'm saying he was a lot more patient and try to slow the fight down a lot more in that fight versus other fights. But he does swing with his chin up. He does. I'll give you that. Chili Miners, want to risk it and make a cuppa back in a minute. You'll have time, mate. I'll tell him to hold the fight. Joseph, in general, coach. April Fool's Day by Bryce Courtney is very good, I think. I think that's a really good book. The Thornbirds by Colin McCullough. That's another good book. What's another one? I'm trying to think. Oh, Shantaram. Shantaram's a very good book as well. The Godfather. The Godfather, I think, is a fantastic book. It's really good. If you read The Godfather, right, and you read Machiavelli, The Prince, the book by Machiavelli, The Prince, I think those two books, that combination is really, really, really good. Currently reading the Book of Five Rings. Book of Five Rings is an amazing book. That's a really good book. What does Gaethje do now? What do you mean, what does Gaethje do now? What do you mean by that? I think Gaethje's got a lot of fight left in him and a lot of fights. That lightweight division, mate, that's, you got Islam coming in. Islam has shown how good he is. I don't know. Sean Pick says Holland first round. He could do it. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if Holland gets it done in the first round. That would not surprise me in the least. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens, man. Man. What a huge knee Masvidal landed. Fab, do you have any ideas that you're thinking about for the show? I remember you said you might be changing the name. I think that I will probably change the name after a little bit. I'll probably wait. I'm still thinking of stuff. Like I said, a few opportunities have come up from a business perspective, and I've had to kind of grab them with both hands and run with that. And so not that the podcast has had to go on the waiting list, not at all. I've just had to do, I haven't been able to do as many interviews as I'd like to do because I really enjoy doing that. I've had to pick, and I'd rather do this. I'd rather do, out of the limited time that I have, I'd rather do this and a few of the breakdowns and stuff like that, because I can do that more on my own time as opposed to trying to organize interviews with people. It's a little bit hard. And so I'm really enjoying doing this aspect of it at the moment. Okay, so you're saying, okay, now that Chandler, but I think that Gaethje is like right up there in the mix as well. Like he could fight anyone that's up there, So I think they're just going to give him a fight at some point. I don't think he's going to get a title shot or anything like that. And I also think if he's got one fight, I believe that they'll renew Gaethje's contract if he wants it renewed. There's no fight for Gaethje in the top 6 right now. Maybe not right now, but as soon as some people win and some people lose, it's going to be a big mix. Oh, Jacare took a massive beating in that fight against Holland, man. Tony or Darius, man, I don't know. Darius has looked like a guy for a long time that's always about to put it together, but doesn't quite do it. But he's definitely got all the skills there, So I don't know. Thoughts on Dillashaw versus San Hagen? I think San Hagen has a lot of momentum behind him. I think San Hagen looks fantastic. I don't know what Dillashaw is going to look like after a layoff. And he did not some steroids apparently, but all of them. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Randy, Loving the commentary. Hope you keep doing these. Yes, I will do. James Adjustment, off topic, but seeing Fab use his phone reminded me of my elderly father and his aging brain. So check out Lion's Mane. It's a fungi shown to slow down the degenerative effects aging has on a brain. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hashtag Randy Fab to ESPN. Thank you, sir. Um, Alonso Stange, Fab, do you see Chandler as champ? He could very well be champion, yes. Very well be champion. I think there's guys that can beat him, but I think he's a problem for a lot of guys. I'd actually like to see him fight Khabib. Martovi, I'd like to see the grappling exchanges between Tony and Darius. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yasin, Tony can't lose this one, do or die. I just don't like to see like when a guy's kind of gone past it, I kind of don't like to see it anymore because the damage is real. Like Jacare was one of my favorites like ever. And I don't like to see him fight like that and take beatings and yeah, I don't like it. And Brunson does run in with his head up. Um, I think Darius and Vittori are in the same spot in their respective divisions at the moment. Both back by a loss earlier in their careers, but comfortably top 10 skill wise. Yeah, that part, yes. The Hungarian hustler, that's awesome, pal. Hope you end up getting what's best for you. This is the most beneficial and informative UFC watch along I can come across. You have the potential to be the main one on YouTube. Fuck, Hungarian hustler. Come on, mate. You're making me get emotional, man. Thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart, mate. What happens where are people like you, mate? I really thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, man. It's ridiculously flattering. Amelia, if Brunson loses this, what do you reckon is next for him? I don't know, because he's always in there competing with these guys that are coming up the top 10. Holland is dancing his little heart out, coming along, relaxed, dancing. He's a interesting character, this Holland guy. Very long guy for the division. Um, Sean Pick. Will Hamzat fight Usman this year? I don't know. I think Hamzat said that he retired, didn't he? I just hope that he's okay. I hope his health's okay. That's the most important thing. And we'll see from there. Jack the Ripper, Hungarian hustler is right though, Uncle Fab. Mate, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I love doing the podcast. I love watching with you guys and having a chat and learning. And, that's awesome. I really enjoy it. Chili Miners, you could spark Holland clean out and he'll wake up and roast you laughing. That's true. He does have that thing about him. Randy, well said at the Hungarian hustler. Thank you, Randy. You guys are too much. Based says Bellator is next for Brunson if he loses. Could be. Could be. Brunson's still a hell of a good fighter, dude. He's just caught, he catches fights with the best of the best in the divisions, He's fought Romero, he's fought Jacare twice, he's fought Rob, he's fought Israel, like nothing fun about that roster of people that he's had to fight, and he's fought them all. And Holland's still going with his dancing. He's danced. I think this is the longest I've ever seen anyone dance. Like he's danced like from all the way at the back to now, and he's continuing to dance. I've never seen this much dancing from anyone ever. It's showing off quite a pedigree of cardio, I'd say. What's my take on Askren versus Jake Paul? Who wins? I think Jake Paul will bash him on the feet. I don't think he'll stop him because Ben Askren's super tough, but I think he'll just bash him on the feet. It's a different animal. Boxing's different. How's Eli? He's really good, man. He's really good. We were meant to go watch a mate of ours play rugby league yesterday, but the games got called off. The rain was so bad. Yeah, that's it, Yanez. He's lost mainly only against the very best guys. Blackberry, you have a great setup, an easy tone. Keep it up, mate. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching with us. First Australian, Hungarian hustler, Shoot your shot, my brother. Fab's DMs are open. Chivalry isn't dead. Sarah, what's your take on Askren versus Jake Paul? Who wins? I said that a second ago. Yasin, the guys who have the most fun while walking out usually win. Not necessarily. Brunson tends to lose composure. Does tend to do that, says Alonso. Jack the Ripper, that Holland kid can dance though. That's what's important. Emilio, am I affected by the floods? No, not in like not that bad. Like, but the rain and that in certain areas that I have to drive through to go pick up my daughter. Like yesterday, we didn't go pick up my daughter. She stayed with my mum, and she stayed basically the whole weekend because she was only meant to sleep over one night. But when the rain hit, there's certain parts that wasn't really good to drive through yesterday. But no, we're not being affected by floods. That's mainly more up north and some places down south, like further south than where I am, or inland. Excuse me, but not here where I am now. Right? No, not me personally. Although where Eli's family's from and that they have more like direct effect. So am I affected just because out of empathy from my friends and family and whatnot? Yeah, 100%. But not like me personally, my house here where I live now. Where are you from, Emilio? What area are you from? Are you from Sydney, Australia, or are you from the rest of the world? Derek Brunson. See, the thing with Derek Brunson, I think he's kind of like a kind of like a Brad Tavares. You know, they're really good fighters that can beat anyone on any given day, and they are, and they can. But sometimes you lose a couple of key fights in your career, and your career goes in a different on a different angle, or you catch someone on the wrong day, like, and it kind of derails your career, and then maybe you get an injury and you don't get another fight for in a couple of, and that kind of goes that way. That's just life. Uh, yeah. So I'm Amelia from Victoria. Yeah. So Kevin Holland has an 81-inch reach advantage. 6'3", 6'1" is Brunson, 37 versus 28. Brunson being 37, of course. Brunson with a 77-inch reach. This fight's going to be interesting, man. Really, really interesting fight. Going to tell us a lot about Holland. I'll tell you that now. Would you say that's luck? It's just what it is, man. Like, I think when Rob fought Tavares, and Rob knocked him out relatively early, and then I don't think Tavares fought again for a little while. I think he got injured or something thereafter, and like Rob took off, and Tavares' momentum stopped. Um, and that had nothing to do with his ability as a fighter, but it had more to do with the fact he got caught that day. As people don't get that, he got caught that day, and he got caught by a young guy that was coming up that had the momentum. Had he fought someone else, maybe they'd fought each other, blah blah blah. Who knows? Things happen. It's that's the game. That's just life. That's life, anyways. Not just fighting. Um, if I was Brunson, I'd rather be making money as a relatively comfortable Bellator champ than facing up and coming killers every bout. But Chili Miners, there's nothing to suggest that Brunson will be the champion at Bellator. Not even, there's nothing. First Australian, Brunson looks like an acorn with his blonde hair. Sean Pick, let's go Holland. So let's see what happens here. Holland looking very comfortable. He's a minus 190 favorite. Um, but no, man, I don't know. You think the in-ring chatter will have a factor in this one? Depends, man. Like all of that changes once you get cracked in the face. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Everything's different once you get hit. If you're winning and you can talk shit, and da 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 da, and it affects your opponent. But if you're losing, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? What you're saying, you can say all you like if you're getting your ass beat. That's what people say. It gets in people's head and blah 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 blah. Like, based and scale peeled. It affected Jacare for sure. I think the kicks and the punches from him affected Jacare more than that. The Hungarian hustler, first Australian, haha, nice one. Just being honest though, if it helps Fab realize how good he is at what alongs, that can only be a positive. People all over the world will enjoy the way he goes about it. Hungarian hustler, I really appreciate it, man. I really thank you. Are you actually in Hungary at the moment? We're off, people. We're off. Ooh, Holland puts his hand up for the glove touch. Brunson wants no part of it. Now he's pouring away at it. Left kick by Brunson. Brunson in his, as always, southpaw stance. And Holland goes looking for an oblique kick on Brunson. And of course, the ESPN thing freezes. My God. And these guys are hitting with dynamite, and I can't see it, of course. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, dude. Like, just because he smiled at that moment. I've seen Jacare talk to people, do all sorts of shit himself and win, you know. So, and you see him lose as well. That wouldn't be like that was the reason why he lost. So Brunson got the takedown. I wasn't able to see it. Unfortunately, the whole thing had frozen, but he's got him the takedown. And now Holland is very interesting from this position. He's got the body triangle on Brunson from the bottom. So that stifles your own movement from the bottom, but it does make it a little bit harder for Brunson to breathe. However, having said that, this is what I said right at the start, is that this is what Brunson wants. Brunson wants to slow this fight down. Brunson wants to take the guy down, wants to hold him down, wants to make it ugly and get this into the later rounds where his experience and his abilities are going to be able to tell a little bit more than Holland. I wasn't able to see how the takedown occurred though. So if anyone can tell me, that'd be great. Oh, okay, so it was a slop by Holland and not a takedown. Okay, great. But still, nonetheless, we're down here and we're in Holland's guard, and Brunson is able to land some ground and pound. Brunson's doing a lot of top heavy position. Holland was looking for an armbar, I believe. Nice little elbows landed by Brunson. He's putting up a shield. Is Holland is looking for an armbar on Brunson, but Brunson knows that it's there. It's hard to get an armbar like this. This is the best possible scenario for Brunson that could have happened. Is this situation here landing? Nice little. This body triangle it's not that it doesn't work the same way as when somebody has a body triangle on your back. Chili miners, in answer to your question. So it doesn't have the same kind of effect. It just makes it a little harder to breathe than that, but it doesn't have, because it doesn't hyper extend your spine in the same way that a body triangle has the ability to, especially if you get face down with a body triangle. So this is all Brunson really in this first round. 2 minutes to go. Holland keeps looking for these arm bars, but he's not going to get him because Brunson's doing a good job of keep squaring off on the hips. Good job by Brunson. He hasn't landed anything flush, and I think Holland's continuing to talk, but he is losing this round. He is losing this round. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes and how this plays out. There's 1 minute and 37 seconds to go. And Brunson quite content to be here in the guard. Right, that's another thing I don't really like when I see this from guys. I don't really see Holland working to improve his position to get back up, and he's not winning the fight, so to speak. He's definitely losing this round. Neither one of these guys is using a huge amount of energy either. There's 1 minute to go. He's not really using the length either. He got the shields up a second ago, but he's not using the length to push Brunson off him either. So Brunson's landing a little bit of ground and pound. Nothing clean though. Nothing clean. but he's not expending huge amounts of energy. But there are shots getting through. There are little shots getting through, and it's definitely enough to put this round in the bag for Brunson. What's going to happen moving further to that? I don't know. I don't know. Martovi, no, Brunson is that fighter. Okay. 10 seconds to go. He's landing little heel kicks. Is Holland, but Brunson's definitely landing the better shots. There's 3 seconds to go. Holland's talking to him. That's the round. He goes to shake hands with him. Brunson wants no part of the chivalry and the friendship and whatnot. Okay. Ewan Ferguson. Thank you, sir. Hello, dear Fab. Work has endeavored to keep me away from the sweet trickle timber of your voice. I look forward to trying to roast chestnuts soon. Do it, sir. It'll change your life. Please listen to this because I will, even though you can't watch the fights, I'll tell you what's happening, Ewan Ferguson, and I'll tell you play by play. Where is it? Thoughts on Holland locking the guard down versus trying to sweep or get up? Look, I don't generally like people closing the guard like that, and not, especially in MMA, because you are, one, losing the round, and two, there's shots being landed on you, so that those two things are not good. I would have liked to have seen him open the guard, make some space, and scramble and get up, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't personally like it, but he is who he is, Mr. Holland. And we're off, people. Back again. Brunson. Ooh, big swing and a miss by Holland. Brunson looking very comfortable there too. Ooh, nice little check hook by Holland over the top on Brunson. Oblique kick by Holland. Both guys are kind of erratic with their stand-up, kind of weird. Holland with his hands low, talking to Brunson. Inside leg kick landed by Holland. A clinch by Brunson. Brunson looking for the takedown with a step back. Knee in the clinch landed by Brunson. Oh, left hand landed by Brunson on Holland at the break. Right hand landed by Holland. Another right hand landed by Holland. Another right hand landed by Holland. Big left hand landed by Holland. Another right hand landed by Holland. Brunson goes looking for a single leg takedown. Big lefts landed by Holland. Brunson goes looking for a left hand of his own. These guys are throwing leather here. This is not going to benefit Brunson unless he can do this, what he's doing, and hold Holland as much as he possibly can. And he gets the step back, lands straight into a smash pass. And now it's going to be Holland's decision here, what he does. Does he scramble back up to the feet where he's having success, or does he allow for Brunson to start to stifle this? Brunson now looks, and he's gotten the mount. He has gotten the mount. Great work by Brunson, man. Really, really great work. Holland's going to kick off this cage, and he does, but he gives his back to Brunson. Then he rolls back again. And he's on his back still. He's still on his back, and Brunson passes to half guard. I don't like him capitulating so much of the ground to Brunson and not having the better positioning. Now Brunson is threatening from the half guard on the far side with a head arm choke. And it's in pretty fucking deep, and he's shown that he can already pass this guard. As long as he keeps driving down and forward here with his shoulder, he'll create a hell of a lot of pressure on Holland. There's 2 minutes to go. This is plenty of time for Brunson to work. He's going to pass his guard. He's doing a great job getting his shin across. He's going to pass it. He's going to pass it. Now, can Holland turn with that left arm? See, he's got the left arm around him. Can he turn with it? I don't know. Nah, it's in. It's in deep. There's 2 minutes to go. Brunson is in super deep on this head arm choke. The only thing that's saving him is that he's on the phone. But this is in deep, and Brunson's a very strong guy in the upper body. Holland is in a lot of trouble here. He's still breathing. He's remaining calm. You can see him still breathing, but the carotids get cut off and you just go to sleep. So his arm's up, but he's still breathing and talking through it. Brunson's doing a good job of just holding him here. He can hold him here the whole fucking rest of this round. It's in pretty deep. Holland rolls out of it. Brunson attacks him. Holland rolls out of it. He's smiling. There's 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. He's lost both rounds, in my opinion, because it's come close. It was close. I think he was winning that round. And then I don't know. He's gotten in deep is Brunson. I do think Brunson will start to slow down, though. I think that, I don't know, the way he's ducking into stuff and everything, it's not. But he's definitely won these 2 rounds, has Brunson. But Holland has, I don't know, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, because Holland did land some good strikes there on the feet in that second round. So I don't know who's winning this round, but probably Brunson. He had a very good close submission attempt. I don't know. Very, very close. 27 seconds to go. It's a long fight like this, a long fight. But on the feet, he's definitely got a bit of a measure on Brunson, but Brunson has landed some shots too. And then on the ground, Brunson's looking more dangerous than Holland. You know, able to land the ground and pound from the guard. Nice little elbows landed by Holland, and that's the round. It could be 2 apiece. I mean, could be 2-0 from Brunson. I see it like that anyways. Okay, Sean Pick, Hungarian hustler born in Australia to Hungarian parents. Sorry, mate, you missed his response. Oh, thank you, man. Sorry, man. I have been watching the fight and this and that. That was a lot of it's to disrupt the breathing, Sir Lancelot. Cold-blooded. I'm so torn between listening to your commentary or trying to hear everything Holland is saying. That's fair. He's talking to Khabib as well, is he? Okay. He needs to win the fight though, because he did land some big shots on Brunson, but Brunson landed some shots on him. The problem with Brunson is that he throws his whole body into some of those shots, so it looks like he gets dropped at times, but I don't think he does. Yeah, I think when you see that he's got it locked. Oh, sorry, Martovi. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for spending time with us. We're off, guys. Third round. Right hand down the pipe landed by Holland. The thing that I see here for Brunson is that he knows where he can be strong against Holland. And if he gets another takedown on the judges' scorecards, he probably he's winning this fight and well on the way to winning the fight. Although Holland is very measured here in his approach. Like he knows that, he can land these shots on Brunson, but he hasn't got that stand up like that. And Brunson's doing a good job of taking him down. I'd like to see the thing is, if he scrambles and uses his jiu-jitsu to get up from here, it'll start to really tire Brunson down. He's in deep with his armbar. Deep. Nah, it's out. He should scramble and get up because that's what's going to make Brunson tired. The fact that he can't rest. He can't take him down and rest. Right now, Brunson does still have an element of control. When he closes the guard, Brunson's able to rest. He's taken him down and secured the position. The thing that kills a wrestler is when you get the takedown and you can't hold the person down and they pop up. I agree with you, Anthony Inquiry. That's what I say to people. Like when he goes, "Oh, he won the fight. He spoke to Jacare and Jacare, da da da. He spoke to this guy and he won the fight." He's spoken in a lot of fights and he's lost. And he's losing this fight. That doesn't mean that he's going to lose this fight, but he's definitely losing this fight at the moment. I believe he could get the knockout as well. It's definitely on the cards, but if Brunson keeps taking him down, it's going to be a problem. He really needs to get up and start making Brunson work. Because Brunson can go for the takedown. He's got a good guard. Like, he's got long limbs. He should have put in, rather than lock himself into the guard, which is what he's doing here. I would like to see him move and put some shields up and work his way back up to his feet. Even if Brunson takes him down again, it doesn't matter. I'd still like to see him make Brunson work a little bit more. Aussie-born Kiwi says, I remember when everyone thought Edmund Shabazin or whatever would run through Derek, but man, Derek is one of the best gatekeepers ever. Yeah, I don't think that Brunson is like not good. You know what I mean? He's got things in his style and in the way he fights, idiosyncrasies that don't match up well with some of those better guys in the division that are really, really good strikers with great takedown defense. First Australian needs to stop flapping his gums and focus on improving his position. His lips have done more work than he has. Chili Miners, Bisping saying Brunson starting to show fatigue. I agree with that. I agree with both comments, actually. I do agree with that. But the problem is, man, that he's getting the takedowns rather effortlessly, and then it's not requiring too much work for him to just lay on top of Holland and do what he's doing. You know, and so that's the problem there. He's not really improving his position or anything like that, but neither is Holland. And Holland got taken down and he's getting hit from the top. And he's getting elbowed. So unless he knocks him out, I think that it's going to be extremely difficult for Holland to win this decision. I don't know if anyone could have given the second round to Holland. Maybe they did because he did land some big shots on Brunson. But I really don't see how you could. Hey Fab, do you mind explaining what you mean by his shields? Yeah, let's say when he's on the ground, like if he puts one shin up against the chest, one of the shins up against the chest, he's able to push off with his shin and put his hands up. So put up his hands or his forearms up against Brunson and start to kick off, put his feet. The first shields would be his feet on the hips and start to push off. Being such a long guy, he can absolutely do this. What he's doing now is just making things a little bit uncomfortable for Brunson from the top. But Brunson's a wrestler with really high wrestling pedigree, and he's got such a strong base. It's hard to maneuver someone like that. To be honest, I think it's less that he loves talking, more that he has more bothered about conserving energy and finding the knockout some other time, says Chili Miners. Anthony Inquiry, my wager is last second knockout by Holland or Brunson grinds out a decision, no in between. Well, yeah. Brunson doesn't want to be his friend, and the thing I keeps talking to him. Chili Miners, I'm a bit too little urgency and too much confidence in his hands, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with you. I think both fighters are entering the fourth round, and I think Brunson looks a little bit more gassed, a little bit more tired, but Holland has to do something with this, you know. He can get this knockout. He can. He definitely looks a little better on the feet, but Brunson is doing a good job of getting in and getting the takedown, and Holland is not getting back up off his feet or even defending the takedown properly. So from a fight IQ perspective, to be honest with you, this is not a good showing for Holland, even if he wins, in my opinion. He's down 3 rounds, more or less, to a strong wrestler that, you know, there's been plenty of opportunities for him to use his guard to get up, you know, to not let it happen. So we're back in the middle. Brunson's in the center. Kevin Holland kicks his leg from orthodox to southpaw. Kevin Holland, inside leg kick. Feints with the jabs, does Holland. But Brunson now has grown in confidence himself, and he's feinting himself with the little right hands here. He does have his chin up, though, when he comes in, both for takedowns and for the striking. 1-2 landed by Holland. Not flush, but enough. Exchange of kicks by both boys. Couple of big shots landed there by Holland. Not flush, but they kind of landing. And now, good job. He's put up a shield there. Frame. Ooh, right hand lands on Brunson by Holland. goes swinging for an uppercut, does Holland. Now he's starting to make space and stop the takedowns from Brunson. Now Brunson's in trouble. I do believe that Brunson's in trouble. Brunson's looking to land some uppercuts on Holland. He does. Now Brunson's landing some shots. Brunson's looking for the takedown. Going for the Kimura has Holland. He's gone for the Kimura on the single leg. He's going to roll through this. Brunson passed the guard. Nice work. Right there and then Holland didn't move. He did not move where he should have moved once the Kimura wasn't on. Brunson's looking for a crucifix here. Holland turns. He's turtled up. He's looking now. Good job. He's got into his feet. This is what he needs to do. But he needed to do this when Brunson went for a takedown like a double leg or something. He needed to get back up to his feet. Brunson gets a takedown again. There's 3 minutes to go in this round. Whatever happens in this fight, even if Holland wins this fight, I don't think it was a good showing at all, like compared to the top guys. If Brunson wins this fight, I think he did a good job, and then let's see what happens, like with the other movement in the division. And then I think a fight versus Hermanson, if Hermanson gets through Shabazian, would be a nice fight for Brunson. If Holland wins, I don't think he's done that much for himself with this fight, to be honest with yourself. To be honest, it hasn't shown a lot of fight IQ. It hasn't shown a lot of gamesmanship. It's just, yeah. Much better work getting whizzes and underhooks that time round, says Chili Miners. Yeah. I agree with you, Chili, on all of it. When you said never mind, I agree with you as well. Now Brunson's got him in the best possible position. He doesn't open the guard. He doesn't use the guard unless he can ground and pound. The way that it worked with Jacare was because Jacare postured up to pass the guard. Brunson's doing the exact opposite. Brunson's just keeping his weight forward. So when he kept his weight forward, he's not giving the space for those longer limbs to land the shots as they did against Jacare. And in fairness, once you see it once, it's different. Same as Hermanson, that leg lock that Hermanson does from the overhook that he got Gastelum with, Vittori was able to shut it down. 1 minute, 28 seconds to go. Holland has had absolutely zero takedown defense. I just commented on another YouTube watch along, telling them to come over here for the best and most knowledgeable presenter on YouTube. Laugh aloud, trying to steal your fans. I appreciate it, Hungarian Hustler. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. Holland looking for an armbar, not going to happen. He has to get up. He has to get up and try and scrape Brunson off the wall. So he's got to put his back to the wall. He's got to put his back to the wall. There's a minute to go here. He's got his back on the wall. He's got to swim and get those underhooks in. Frame now and try and make some space and get Brunson off him. Brunson, this is what I was saying to you before. This is what Brunson wants to do the whole fight if he can, and just slow it completely down. 32 seconds to go. Even the most generous judge could only give Holland one round here. And so I think that unless Holland stops him, this is all Brunson. 18 seconds to go. And this is how I saw Brunson winning this, by the way. There's still a whole round to fight, but Holland really has to catch him. What is a watch along? I'm assuming it's a watch along. So Lancelot sort of reminds you of the Santos versus Holland, but Brunson has had way more control on the ground. Yeah, man, I just don't understand how and why he's doing the stuff that he does, to be honest with you. I don't understand why he doesn't defend the takedown, and when he hits the ground, why he doesn't get up. Hungarian Hustler. I kind of knew what you were saying, but it was interesting anyways. So Khabib and him are talking. Brunson still doesn't want to touch gloves. Holland talking to him. He's won 4 rounds of the possible 5, Brunson. Both guys are standing here. But the problem that I see here for Holland is that whenever he engages, there's no takedown defense. Whenever it gets even remotely close. And when it hits the ground, he doesn't get up. And he doesn't really mount a lot of submission offense from the position he was in. And Brunson's doing a fantastic job of when he gets him down to hold him down. Oh, lands a nice little left hook, does Brunson. Left kick by Brunson. In close, Brunson with the left right. And now when they're later in the fight, Holland's striking is not looking too good. Doubles up on the jab, does land it. Oh, lands a nice little left hand on Brunson. Brunson shoots in. They're both in the clinch. Brunson's going to look for a step back takedown, I believe. He's going to look to clinch. He's going to clinch him, and then he's going to look for a step back. Here it is. Here's the clinch, and here's the step back. Here it is. Almost Brunson. Holland, move your hips, man, and knee, and get out of the clinch. .326 to go in the main event. There's Brunson with the clinch. If he gets a takedown, it's over, man. Oh, inside trip by Holland on Brunson. Nice work. Nice work. Now Brunson closes his guard. There's 3 minutes to go. Is Holland going to be able to stop this? He's talking and saying stuff to people on the side, but I don't know what that means, man. I don't know, like, what that means. Yeah, so he's going to be held here, and he's going to run out of time. I don't see him. I see Brunson hanging on for dear life. There's 2 minutes to go. Landing a bit of body work now on Brunson, but that's not going to stop him. Here we go. If he can elevate and start to land some big shots here, he slams Brunson to the ground, but that's not doing anything, like it's not landing a little bit of hammer fists. He needs to land some big shots on Brunson. Needs to land some big ones. But it's not going to happen. There's 2 minutes to go. Brunson's just going to hold him for dear life. It's 2 minutes to go. James the Juice. Yanez says, "You're the man, Fab." Thank you, sir. Pip Dennison says, "Sorry, I'm late, Hefe. I'm glad you're here, Pip. Thank you so much." This is Shazam. This is a super weird fight. Like a super weird fight. This being said, this was Holland's opportunity to elevate himself, and he hasn't shown up and grabbed his opportunity. First Australian. 1,000%. 1,000%. I agree with Bisping. Really, really, like, honestly, bad performance, Not because he lost. I just see it as a really bad performance. Like, really, honestly, I don't often say this, and I'm not trying to fight a bash, but I just see it as a really, like, unprepared fight. Like a really, really unprepared fight. You can't fight like this at the upper echelons. He's obviously a very talented guy, but extremely unprepared to fight a guy like Brunson. That this is what Brunson's going to do, And it's hard to stop Brunson. Don't get me wrong. Brunson's a good fighter, and this is a great. I can't even say it's a great showing by Brunson because Brunson just double legged him, took him down, and there was no urgency from Holland whatsoever to get back to his feet or to even land submissions from the bottom or anything. And Brunson did a fantastic job. Brunson came here prepared, and you can see he came here prepared, ready for the ground game as well. Here he's stifling him up against the cage so that Holland can't move his hips. And really, honestly, to me, I don't like to criticize the fighters, but in my opinion, it was a pretty lackluster performance from Holland. Like not really what you'd want to see. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And he goes over, shakes hands, and keeps talking. But I was really honestly kind of sad, to be honest with you. Like, Brunson's very good. He's a very good fighter. No, there's nothing against him. But like that performance just showed like Brunson came in knowing where he had to place himself in Holland's guard to avoid getting hit with those long levers. And it was no secret that he would have the longer range, that he'd be able to land some shots. You know what I mean? I'm just watching him. He's so weird, dude. The stuff he's doing and walking around, talking to people and this and that. Now his cornerman is coming over and telling him to go back. You know, it's just really weird the way he acts and that. Brunson's like not interested in talking to him whatsoever. I just see it as like too much, honestly, like really lack of focus, to be honest with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it was just one of those things where I just feel that like hopefully, and I think he should and he probably will come back more focused and better. I see it as a lack of focus, like not being able to focus on the task at hand. You can't really fight with like in that way, you know what I mean? Not at the upper echelons of fighting. You can't. You might win a fight here or there, but you have to prepare and you have to know what's going to happen in that fight. And it was like he did not prepare for Brunson at all. There's things that happen when Brunson fights. You can see it. Like if you get up from his takedowns or you stifle his takedowns or any wrestler's takedowns, not just Brunson, it's very hard for them to keep going. It's very hard for them. It's a thing that takes out the most gas. And Brunson did a fantastic job as well of placing himself in the right positions in the guard. But then Holland did the opposite. Holland did exactly what Brunson needed him to do. So I find that really weird. First Australian, man, I kind of agree with you, man. Um, Alexandra banned with Holland just lacks discipline for the takedown defense. His position, everything, he just strikes like his opponent isn't going to look to take him down. I don't think Jason Correa. I don't think that the trainers are the problem. That's my opinion there. I think that Holland kind of lacks discipline in general, like in what he should have been doing. And I think he's got a great ability, great fighting ability, but that didn't show me like he's not going to beat the top guys like that. You know what I mean? Or even the mid tier, like top 8, 9 guys. It's going to be very hard. He might beat a guy here or there, but you really need to study and understand who you're fighting at this top level. Um, and guys, I just like to say that I said to you, if Brunson can slow the fight down, then he'll win it. You know what I mean? Because I don't see right now in Holland, I don't see a guy that's super focused. And that is a massive thing. You need to understand you need to understand who you're fighting and how the rhymes and the rhythm of the fight. And he just didn't seem to doesn't seem to have it a lot either. Like it works here and there because you can drop, you can pull guard and throw punches and do this and that. But out of 10 fights, you're not going to win 6 or 7 of them like that. You win 1 or 2 in spectacular fashion. I think you lose a lot of height. Joe Schmo, what's for tea tonight? I believe pasta will be on the agenda. My wife and I are negotiating what we're going to have for dinner, and we'll probably go out and have dinner somewhere. So I'm not exactly sure. Um, yeah, man, that was yeah. But the thing is, man, a lot of the times, John James, I'm not even going to talk about Holland per se because I don't know him. I think he is serious, but I think a lot of what he does is like their affectations. Kind of gives you an excuse to say, "Oh, I was just doing this. I like da da da." Um, I think he's got a lot of potential. It's what he wants to do with it. So yeah, but if you fight Kevin Matthew, if you fight a guy like Brunson, he's going to take you down. You know he's going to attempt to take you down. You know, and there's certain things that Brunson does, and then you just watch his fights, and there's certain ways that you can look at it. And you can do things, but Holland did the exact opposite. Like I'm actually like not really like yeah um yeah. Anyways, what do you do, guys? We're going to talk about this further Tuesday at 12:30. I look forward to hearing your views. Let's digest this information, have a chat. Jack the Ripper says, it's like when I didn't study for an exam and failed because I was afraid to study and fail. This is what Holland's doing. Honestly, Jack the Ripper, that is true. That is exactly that kind of thing. Like, because I think there was things he could have done a lot better there. Not because I'm looking at it going, oh, this is what he should have done. Like, I think there are things that he should have just basically done. Like, he had a lot of time to be able to fix that, in that fight, and he just kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it. Thank you, Shazam. I really appreciate it, man. Guys, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate everything. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I really appreciate you guys following. And if you haven't, please follow on social media. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications. I really appreciate it. Tuesday, we're going to do a review of this fight, of these main event and the whole fight card, so to speak, the main event, the main card, sorry. And then on Friday, I hope to be doing a preview card for the title fights that's the title fight now that's happening on the weekend. So guys, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Love doing this with you guys. So take care. Love you guys. Thank you so much. See you later, Kevin Matthew and Rick James and all the others. All right. Take care.